Johnson back. Here's Hamilton's three.
He didn't have a good look right there. They were
Maroon and gold, Cardinal and gold, nearly matching colors. But today, Minnesota and the Gophers are trying to hit all the right notes and score the upset over visiting USC. You'll see this colorful battle coming at you right now. Welcome to ESPN's coverage of college football presented by Cars.com. From TCF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis is the 18th ranked Southern California Trojans against the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. The skyline of Minneapolis tells you what a beautiful day it is. Only 56 degrees, very little breeze, and virtually no chance of any rain at all. Beautiful fall weather at the end of summer. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. You know, the saga, as the Heisman ends, has ended. On Tuesday, Reggie Bush decided to give back his 2005 award. USC has already given back their copy of it. But for an athlete to do that has never happened before. The 2005 Heisman is now vacant. Bush said he did this to eliminate all distractions. But he also did not go down quietly, lobbing a few well-aimed shots at amateur athletics. As I bring in my partner, Mike Bellotti, the former Oregon coach, you know, for Lane Kiffin, it seems like he's the guy who's at the drive-thru getting the hot coffee spilled in his lap. He's been going through this since the summer. How has Lane Kiffin handled all of this?
I think he's handled it very well. Coach Lane Kiffin wants to focus on what he can control and nothing else, and I've heard the same thing from his players. Again, what he is focusing on is more consistency from his offense and defense and less dirty laundry on the field.
Now, USC, the #1 team in penalty yardage against them so far this season, but you can't blame the quarterback for this. The impressive sophomore, one of the best in the Pac-10, Matt Barkley.
Matt Barkley, very accurate, the only sophomore captain ever for USC. He's a leader on the field. He operates that offense. He's got a special mojo with Ronald Johnson.
Tim Brewster, the Minnesota coach in his 4th season, has only penciled in one name in his starting lineup at quarterback. That's Adam Weber, now making start number 41.
Adam Weber is the career leader in every passing category for Minnesota. He does a tremendous job, but they've talked to him a lot this week about getting down and protecting the ball, protecting his body.
1980 was the last time these teams met. Marcus Allen ran wild on the Golden Gophers. There's no Marcus Allen here. Can USC pick up a road win?
I got it. Lucky break. Foot wedge, huh? Phil Mickelson? Rule 13-1 of the rules of golf. The ball must be played as it lies.
Does that apply today? The rough seems awfully rough. And is that rock permanent?
Dude, come on. Still here.
Barclays, proud sponsor of integrity, expertise, and Mickelson.
Day one storm, and it was beautiful. So look, see the sights that you like.
AT&T covers 97% of all Americans. AT&T, rethink possible. Buy a Pantech messaging phone like the Impact and get a Pantech messaging phone free after mail-in rebate.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Barclays, Bank on Substance, AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And Kingsford Charcoal and the Home Depot. Get your tailgate started right with Kingsford Charcoal from the Home Depot.
Tim Brewster leading the Golden Gophers out here at TCF Bank Stadium. A big opportunity to right a wrong. They lost their home opener a week ago to an FCS team, South Dakota, and their fine quarterback, Dante Warren. But still, if you're Minnesota, you're not supposed to lose to FCS teams. And one of the players they're going to turn to try to get the win over USC today, Mike, is Marquise Gray. This is a unique combination player here.
No question. He's the backup quarterback. He's a starting wide receiver in a three-wide receiver set. He is also the leading receiver, 10 catches on the year. But he's got range and size and the athleticism combined with size to run over people, run with power, and yet make people miss.
Has not played any quarterback yet this season, but last year did have a touchdown pass against Ohio State and has 10 catches to lead this team. Big target, as you mentioned, 6'4", 230 for Tim Brewster. As Minnesota celebrates its 127th season of college football. And Brewster's record 15-25. Only won one game in his first year here, and his offense has undergone some changes. He started with a pure spread, now more of a pro style look.
Yeah, and he's trying to run the football. They lead the nation in time of possession. That's one of their goals today, is to slow down the game, slow down and pound USC. I don't know if that's possible, but time of possession is very important to them.
And Lane Kiffin, this is only what, his 16th game as a head coach of a college football team, and he's got the keys to a very big car.
Relatively young, relatively untested. Again, a lot of controversy goes wherever he goes, but right now he's trying to keep his team focused on playing consistently and avoiding penalties. They lead the nation in penalties right now. I'm sure it's something he wants to stop.
His team won the toss but elected to defer, so USC and their road whites will be kicking off. And for mom and dad, Joe Houston, senior from Redondo Beach, that's your son. Joe's wearing number 10 today, and we understand punter Jacob Harfman will also be doing it. And we've talked to folks from USC, and Mike, they don't know why this decision was made.
Somebody's got to let us in on the secret. They're probably trying to honor somebody, or maybe they lost a bet and they have to wear somebody else's number. I'm not sure. I don't think it'll affect their performance. The number doesn't weigh any more than the other one.
No, it does not. So keep an eye out for this guy here, Troy Stoudemire. Averages 24 per kick return. And he's had a dozen kick returns of over 40 yards. Deleon Eskeridge, strong running back, is also back deep for the Gophers. Well, no matter what number it is, it's a pretty good kick. This is Stoudemire. Got belted at the 22-yard line. Huge hit that time. Chris Gallipo in there among others for USC. So we take a look at the senior from Shoreview, Minnesota, Adam Weber, whose name is on top of virtually every passing record at Minnesota. The next touchdown pass he throws, in fact, will make him the clear number one. He has 55 touchdown passes in his career. He is the only three-time captain in Golden Gopher football history. Dewan Bennett at the top of the eye. And Bennett, who's had 2 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, is stopped by Armand Armstead for a loss of 2. We take a look at starting lineups. Beginning with Minnesota, there you see Bennett. Troy Stoudemire also plays a wide receiver. Eric Lair, an emerging star at tight end. Veteran offensive line, DJ Burris, the most experienced of that bunch. And Jeff Wills might be the biggest man in Minnesota. At one time, he weighed over 400 pounds. He's down now to a much more manageable 350. A very talented tackle. Second down, Minnesota. Mike, they told us they wanted to establish the run. That time, Jarrell Casey on the stop as Bennett gets maybe a little bit back.
They said they wanted to get 2 first downs every possession, kick the ball away, and create some field position opportunities. They want to run the football. That's their MO. But again, right now, they're not having any success against a fired-up USC defensive front.
So after a couple of carries by Bennett, it's now 3rd down and long for the Gophers.
And this is not the situation. They don't want to throw when they have to throw. They want to throw on normal downs, again, when it's a run-pass option.
From the empty set, Weber hit right after he throws, and that pass was in and out of the hands of Marquise Gray, who almost, to me, Coach, looked like he was surprised at that catch.
I think so. I think the ball had to come out a little early. Great throw by Adam Weber, anticipating where that ball would be. And again, the ball came early because of the pressure put on by USC. You see the route right here coming down, makes the move. And again, one of the things that happens, he can't get enough time as a receiver and a quarterback. He's splitting time in terms of practice.
Roby was in there on the coverage, a freshman from outside the Tampa, Florida area. Minnesota will have to get rid of it quickly. And that punt will go out of bounds, and USC will have outstanding field position. And that ball is going to be marked at their own 45-yard line. So not the best punt for Dan Oreski. 34 yards, and his name came up in our meetings with the Minnesota coaches as a key player today.
Well, again, if they're going to play a field position game, run the ball and punt the ball away, they've got to do a better job. This is great starting field position for USC, and the game is not the story Minnesota wanted to paint on that first series.
I see what Matt Barkley did last year and compared to this year. He's got Mark Tyler and Stanley Havili in the backfield. Barkley, 7 touchdowns, no picks this year. And a play action fake, wide open, middle of the field. And this will be down to the 32-yard line with Rhett Ellison, the junior tight end, his 4th catch of the year and his longest.
You can see the cutback across, and again, vintage SC, bootleg, double route across the field, underneath and over the top. They get the over-the-top guy for the big yardage.
And a terrific play-action fake. A lot of the defenders went with Tyler when he ran off to the right, and Barkley had no one near him when he threw it. This time it's Tyler, and he fools no one, loses a yard. Wrapped up by D.L. Wilhite, who was an all Big Ten freshman last season. Number 95 for the Golden Gophers. The Trojans on offense. Mentioned Mark Tyler. His father was a great running back in the NFL, Wendell Tyler. And Ronald Johnson is USC's top receiver, number 83. Keep an eye out for Robert Woods. Might be the fastest Trojan on the field. And a veteran line, Christopher O'Dowd, the center. You'll watch him play in the NFL maybe as early as next year. He's going to be a high draft choice. On the draw. And not a lot there. Golden Gophers interior defense only giving up a couple of yards that time. Juwan Edwards in there, number 68. And we take a look at the Golden Gophers and their starting line. You see Edwards has the only sack so far of the season for Minnesota. Brandon Kersey, a very promising talent. And the linebackers look for number 26, Mike Rollis, to make big hits. And back from a 2-game suspension, Kyle Thorette, expected to add some badly needed experience to a young Minnesota defense. Barkley taking his shot and out of bounds. The intended receiver was David Ausberry. Barkley appeared to me anyway, Mike, switched to that play and had an opportunity. The receiver had a step.
One-on-one coverage. Ausberry is their big X. He's the guy they like to throw the ball up for, let him go and get it. USC is no longer tailback by committee. They have decided that Mark Tyler and Dylan Baxter are the guys they want to go with. They have been up to 3 to 5 tailbacks play for them all the time. They're settling in on those 2 guys this year.
The longest field goal for Joe Houston so far this season is 34 yards. He's 1 out of 2. This is going to be 48. And we remain scoreless. So the field position battle lost by Minnesota, but the score so far, nothing doing. We'll return to Minneapolis in a moment to see if Tim Brewster's offense can get their first down.
Now, more than ever, you want to keep your loved ones safe and secure. Give them the gift of financial security from New York Life. We've been protecting families for over 165 years. New York Life, the company you keep.
After battling the elements for 128 years, our wood stains can handle pretty much anything. Cabot, our performance is legendary.
Every day, 36 kids learn that they have cancer. Over the last 12 years, Hyundai's Hope on Wheels program has raised more than $14 million to help find a cure. In fact, your local Hyundai dealer makes a donation for every car sold. Of course, you don't have to buy a Hyundai to make a difference. Just visit HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org to help and give a little hope, no matter what wheels you drive.
543. Quiznos 543 value menu. Grab a large sub for only $5. A toasty torpedo for only $4. Or a toasty bullet for only $3.
Toasty. You have dreams for your children. Don't let times like these stand in the way of them. Protect your family with the gift of financial security, backed by the highest possible ratings for financial strength. New York Life, the company you keep.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio. You're watching ESPN, new home of the Bowl Championship Series.
In Minneapolis, with Mike Bellotti, I'm Dave Lamont. There was no BCS in 1960 when Minnesota won their last national championship, and on that team, two incredible football players, Carl Eller, who had an amazing career with the Minnesota Vikings, and Bobby Bell, who was one of the stars of the old AFL with the Kansas City Chiefs and an absolute Hall of Fame talent. Second possession for the Gophers, and they've had zero success so far with Dewan Bennett. Maybe a yard that time. The middle of the USC defense has been stern in sending them back. And Mike, again, the game plan, Minnesota's doing what they said they were going to do.
They are. It's not working the way they want. They're going to have to open things up on normal downs instead of running it first and second and getting to an obvious third down passing situation. They don't want that. They want to be able to throw play action, which means you open up with that on a first down situation.
Second and long for Adam Weber. Screen pass, and Weber just dumped it. Let's find out what's going on in Bristol and Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, guys, Taco Bell studio update. The Heisman Trophy winner, Mark Ingram, making his first appearance of the season. Let's see how the knee is against Duke. Pretty good. First carry, Ingram goes for 48 to get the Tide deep in Blue Devil territory. Just a couple of plays later, Greg McElroy finds Darius Hanks in Wallace Wade Stadium, the #1 team in the land, up by a touchdown.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. No surprise to see Mark Ingram and Bama off to a fast start there. Minnesota still looking for a first down. Third and long again. And Weber will get that first down as he gets it to Gray. Gray's got a little room to run here. Gets out of bounds and around the 30-yard line. 31, they're going to say. Sharice Wright, the senior cornerback, able to make the stop. But Gray wide open. And when he turned, there was no one near him. That's a 37-yard pickup, and the Golden Gophers get this crowd excited for the first time today.
You see him on the crossing route there. He got lost in coverage. Nobody picked him up. Across the field all by himself. Great job by Adam Weber to find the time and vision to see him pick him out, put it on stride.
When we talked to the coaching staff, both Lane and Monty Kiffin wondering which defense is going to be here. Was it the ones toasted in Honolulu, the ones who played stout in L.A. against the Cavaliers?
They're looking for consistency.
Takes the handoff to Bennett. Weber downfield. Looks like the feet are in bounds, and it's a catch. And that's right around the marker, maybe a yard short for DeJon McKnight, who replaced Eric Decker, the outstanding receiver, went on to the NFL.
Great timing on that. Again, the bootleg bot time, and you see the play fake and then the route down the field. See, it takes a long time to develop. The receiver runs deep down and then comes back, times it up perfectly, taps his toes in bounds. Nice execution.
And right there again on the stop, sets up second and short. Eskridge is the tailback, but this is the fullback, John Hasey, who's never had a negative play. Every time he's carried the ball, he's always gained yards. He does it again. Gets it inside the 20 and a Minnesota first down.
Now, they don't take the ball off the line of scrimmage very far with him. It's really like a quarterback sneak, except it's a fullback with a head of steam. And he takes the ball, and he goes north and south every single time.
He had 3 touchdowns in the opener. Former safety. Turned into a fullback, and a successful one here. Senior from Glencoe, Minnesota. This time it's Eskridge. Pops through a hole and gets down to the 10-yard line on a touchdown-saving tackle by Nickel Roby, the freshman. That's a gain of 7.
In talking to Jeff Horton, Minnesota's offensive coordinator, he talked about the 3 Ds. And basically, it's the 3 running backs, Dwan, De Leon, and Donnell, but it's also run downhill. He wants a downhill running game, and you have to be patient to run the football.
And a little bit later on, we'll see number 20, Donnell Kirkwood, a freshman from South Florida, Delray Beach. Was expected to get about 10 or 12 touches today. This is Eskridge trying to get to the edge, and SC hand fighting him all the way. He'll be short of the first down, and it's Roby again. A good job that time by Roby to cut him down just short of the first down marker.
Great job by the defensive line stringing this thing out. You see the Trojans pushing it to the sideline. Then great speed. You don't run sideways against SC because they can beat you and run you down. One of the things about Minnesota's game plan today, they talk about time of possession, running the football, but you got to get points in this situation.
Roby's got that Florida speed too, coming out of the Tampa area. He's only a freshman. Play action fake, looking to the end zone and just missed. Overthrew it for the tight end Eric Lair. And there is that dirty laundry that you talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. SC, the nation's most penalized team in yardage. We'll find out if this is against them. Big Ten officiating crew today.
It looks like it's going to be pass interference against the defense. And again,
half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
One of the things down there on defense, if you're beat, you will hold, you will tackle, you will do it. You don't give up the point, you'll take the penalty instead. Here we can get another look at it. You see the release, sort of a fake release, gets inside, and then again is dragged down prior to the ball being there.
Good call by the officials, and an easy one at that. Adam Weber completely in compliance with that.
He was suggesting that to the officials.
Well, he's a senior. Back on the ground. Trying to get to the goal line, but falling a yard short. Eskridge again. Jawanza Starling, a sophomore strong safety, up in his position to make the stop.
They've got some big bodies up front for Minnesota. Jeff Wills, we talked about, is 350 now, down from about 425 pounds. They want to pound you inside and go north and south with this running game.
And maybe they'll go to John Hazy here, who had 3 touchdowns in the opener against Middle Tennessee State, his short yardage specialist. He'll stay in the block. Eskridge will punch it into the end zone. And so a Northern Californian scores on Southern California. Eskridge from San Francisco, and the Gophers lead 6-0.
That fires up, I'll tell you what, not just this football team, but this crowd, and they need something. Last week was very disappointing for them. That first touchdown against USC has got to get this crowd fired up.
Ugly but deadly. We are at 7-0. A 9-play, 69-yard drive in 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Daily on Eskridge's first touchdown of the season, and the Gophers lead the 18th-ranked Trojans.
From an early age, Timothy Richmond understood that with
Want better customer service? Switch to Discover. Ranked #1 in customer loyalty. It pays to Discover.
Down by 7. Final play for Detroit.
Only thing that would make this any better is overtime.
They'll need a miracle to win this football game. Ferris slot right, drops back. Hines takes the pass at the 30. With the seam! Wow! Can you believe it? One man to beat! We're headed to overtime!
Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here.
Field goal for the win!
ESPN's College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Dr. Pepper. There's nothing like a pepper.
The skyline that makes you want to toss your hat in the air. Downtown Minneapolis, just a few moments away from where we are at TCF Bank Stadium. Here you see the scoring drive that's put the home team in front. And there's the man who did it. Staying warm on a cool afternoon. Mid-50s, your beautiful day in Minneapolis.
One thing to remember, that drive was fueled by a breakdown in coverage and a key penalty. So again, SC's got to stop those things. Minnesota's excited, though, about getting that first score on the board.
And although it's not very windy here, the ball was blown off the tee, so we'll try one more time. Back deep for USC. C.J. Gable, one of the all-time best in Trojans history. Kickoff returns. There he is, and the very fast Robert Woods.
Fastest player, they say, on the USC football team.
And that's got to be saying something, because probation or not, they still get talented plays. This will be Woods going to chase this down, and it's going to go out of bounds and give USC, speaking of undisciplined penalties, well, the coach in you has come out.
Well, I'm just saying,
Kick out of bounds.
Coach Brewster said the
By the
kicking
kicking team. The ball is placed at the 40-yard line.
He said the kicking team has to tilt the field for them, and that's tilting it the wrong way. When you kick the ball out of bounds, that's an automatic field position, 40 yards starting.
Let's bring in Reese Davis. Reese?
All right, Dave, over on ABC, or some can see it on ESPN2, Nebraska and Washington. Taylor Martinez, he's supposed to be a runner. Hits Mike McNeil for the first touchdown that followed a Jake Locker interception. Washington couldn't do anything on offense. Martinez got it back. He's averaging over 13 yards per carry, but he's showing the arm off. Brandon Kenny with the catch. It led to another one. It's 14-0.
Well, that's a pretty interesting result. Some thought Washington could do some damage, and they may still be able to do that. And there's Dylan Baxter, the freshman from San Diego, brought down by D.L. Wilhite, and then talking with the USC coaches and reading some of the LA papers. And I hate to even do this, Mike, but they started to compare Dylan Baxter to Reggie Bush.
He's got the same type of stop, start, slashing, cutback ability, and they really like him. They think he's a great receiver out of the backfield, which also made Bush so dangerous.
Picked up 4 that time. Not the same high school as Reggie Bush, but the same area code. That's Tyler. Popped through a couple of arm tackles. He'll be just short of both down. That's the first time we hear a whistle.
Somewhere at the bottom of the pile, somebody's got that football. Everybody signals, we got it, going our way. The reality is this happens more when players are fighting for more yardage, because they tend to extend the ball out further.
So Tyler was able to get it back, and Lane Kiffin goes right back into play calling mode. He'll have a third down and about a yard to go. Looks like Butch Lewis may have fallen on this, 68 in the white.
See, again, looked like the ground caused the fumble. I didn't see that come out until there was contact with the ground. Again, they're not going to have to worry about it because USC recovered it, luckily. One of the things Lane Kiffin is preaching, patience right now. You got to survive the onslaught when you go on the road in somebody else's stadium. The noise, everything.
This is Alan Bradford. He gets to the edge and gets a first down and fights off the first 2 tacklers and gets into Golden Gophers territory the first time that USC has been there. Kyle Ferret in on the stop. Well, Saturday night football presented by Southwest Airlines continues tonight with 2 full national coverage games at 8 Eastern, either on ABC or ESPN2. First, Mac Brown and the 6th-ranked Texas Longhorns face a tough road test in Lubbock against Texas Tech in the Dr. Pepper Rivalry Series game. And Brian Kelly's Notre Dame Fighting Irish hit the road to face Michigan State. That's the good thing about doing a game this time of the day, Mike. We have time to watch those tonight. Bradford stays in the tailback. Barkley appears to be changing the call. All kind of time, and overshot his receiver, trying to get it again to Osbury. That's the second time they've gone deep to him, but not been able to connect.
2 things. Alan Bradford is their short yardage power running back. He's 235 pounds, was an unbelievable linebacker in high school. But also, that time Matt Barkley saw the middle of the field open. He wanted to take a shot and take advantage. He has the ability to audible at the line of scrimmage, go down the field with the ball. He's got his coach's confidence in that regard.
He was the first true freshman at quarterback ever to start an opening game when he took the field in 2009. Bradford again. This running play looks very much like the play they got the first down on, and they get another one.
SC has seen something in the Minnesota defense, and they don't have a player on the edge there. And again, they're running to the weak side, untouched around the outside edge.
The Minnesota is seeing an example of the kind of downhill running they want to do, but it's being done to their defense.
Exactly. I think part of it, too, is it's a very athletic group in the offensive line for USC. They can reach you, and again, they can get outside with that quick step and reach the defensive line.
Baxter back into the tailback spot. There's a quick hitter to Robert Woods, and he is quickly hit but gets away. That play initially looked like it wasn't going to work at all, but Woods, a freshman, able to get away.
And again, he's the fastest guy on the team. Anytime he's got any type of separation, we want to get him the ball. If he can make one guy miss, it's off to the races.
He made the freshman Brock Vereen miss. Now, Brock may have been staying up past bed check last night, watching his brother Shane run wild for Cal, although they did lose to Nevada.
We were both up watching that one, no question.
And Barkley, that's a tough throw, and he makes it look easy. Inside the 15-yard line, Ronald Johnson. And there's Vereen on the stop. That's a nice throw by Barkley.
Really nice execution. He had to throw that over the underneath linebacker in the line of the path of the throw. And that takes a heck of a throw here because you see it to the wide side of the field. Drops back, only 3-step drop over the linebacker right into to hit Ronald Johnson on stride.
SC began this drive at their own 40-yard line after a penalty on Minnesota for kicking out of bounds. In deep trouble, almost intercepted, and it winds up in the hands of Tyron Smith, and somehow it becomes Stanley Havili's football as well.
I think Barkley was trying to change the protection or make sure that his group saw the blitz coming off that edge right here. You can see right now he gets rid of it. It's tipped and then caught, I believe, by an offensive line, which is okay. Then fumbled as he figured out, I'm going to try and carry the ball for the first time in my life.
That actually looked like rugby for a moment. It looked like you pitching out of a pile that time. The pressure came from Mike Wallace, the linebacker. He's the one who really got inside Barkley's face mask almost. So Havili able to save the day by picking up the fumble by the right tackle, Tyron Smith. Well, I'm going to guess probably the first time he's carried a ball in a game. Back on the ground, and not much there.
Although the coaches say that Tyron Smith has the best feet of anybody in the offensive line. So if there's anybody they want to carry the ball up front, I'm sure it would be him.
Well, he didn't panic. He looked like he knew what he was doing.
No, he was probably pretty excited. We used to have a tackle screen play that we threw. It had to be a lateral, but our tackles loved that. Every offensive lineman, that's their dream.
Maybe you're giving Lane Kiffin an idea for the future. Third down and long after the Baxter run. There's room here for the first down, short. There is Kyle Thorette, who was suspended for the first 2 games. He had an arrest in the offseason and made a great hit that appeared to be short of the first down, but a stretch has put the ball near the marker, and then the ball was just moved again back closer to the 5.
I tell you, it's decision time for Coach Kiffin. You're on the road, 4th and 1. What do? Do you kick the field, go for it? Again, they're going to go for it. No hesitation whatsoever.
And in fact, Minnesota's way in trouble here, and they're going to have to take a timeout. Minnesota was trying to substitute. They had about 9 players on the field, 2 more coming on the field to join the troops.
Minnesota.
And they were able to just get that timeout in before a penalty or a USC touchdown. Lane Kiffin's got 4th and maybe a couple of inches to get a first down against Tim Brewster's defense.
Most car commercials tell you what to think. In this one, people told us what they think about Hyundai, uncensored.
Nice.
Hey.
I like this one a lot.
It passed my test. I want this car. What kind of car is it?
Hyundai. Hyundai, like Sunday.
That's right, Hyundai like Sunday.
You got it. Now get one. Like the 2010 Genesis. It comes with Hyundai Assurance, including America's best warranty. And now, for a limited time, you can lease the 2010 Genesis for just $399 a month at your local Hyundai dealer.
Real men are measured by championships, MVP awards, and most importantly, Mirror Ball trophies.
I think I have a chance at this one.
Warner, Fox, Bolton. Join Dancing with the Stars live Monday, 8/7 Central, kicking off Red Carpet Premiere Week on ABC.
Follow the drive to the national championship on ESPN College Football Final. You'll see all the big plays, the shocking upsets, and the great escapes that happen every week on the drive to the national championship. All season long on College Football Final.
If you had a choice between going bald and a fuller head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss. You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure, but the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven permanent hair loss solution, call the toll-free number below to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions.
Go for
1-800-499-3685.
Dave Lamont and Mike Bellotti here in Minnesota, and USC nearly caught the Golden Gophers severely undermanned.
Third down, I think Minnesota had a nickel group on the field. They're trying to get a short yardage goal line group, but see a bunch of big guys coming in. They had to call timeout, saved themselves a touchdown.
Fourth down, and maybe not even a foot. It's Barkley, and he'll cross over. You can see at the top of your screen the official with the mark at the 3-yard line. So a fresh set of downs for the Trojans from the 3.
Nice surge by O'Dowd, Holmes, and Smith on the right side of that offensive line for USC. They tried to get up on a quick count, but then they just got great push to get the first down.
First down, USC. And a power set. Stanley Havili, the fullback, back into the game. Mark Tyler, the junior running back, 5'11", but 230 pounds. So there's a lot of strength there. You see what USC has done with touchdowns so far in the red zone. 12th play of the drive right now. Another play action fake by Barkley and knocked away at the last second. James Manuel, the strong safety, came over and got both hands on the ball and knocked it away.
Nice play by Manuel. They say his play should improve with Kyle Therrett there because Kyle can keep going. See, again, play action, bootleg, stuff SC does all the time, multiple crossing routes. There's the ball, just tipped again. 24 coming across Manuel. Good at almost had a second chance to catch it for SC.
And Ryan Collado was also there. Number 2 might have been able to get that, but second down and goal. That is Tyler just trying to shove his way in, and he did it. Boy, that's determination from Mark Tyler, his second rushing touchdown.
Great leg drive by him and by the guys in front of him. Notice they double covered the single wide receiver to the top of the screen, which allowed them to run the ball with one less man in the box going to the power side to the left.
Yeah, Mike Rollins, it was 226s who met at the goal line, and Tyler got the better of his opposite number. And Lane Kiffin doesn't look happy, though. And if you watch the Hawaii game, that's Mitch Mustaine, who's usually the holder. And he's going to be the holder here. So remember in the Hawaii game how many times they went for 2, and for a moment looked like that might have been the deal here. Well, that's going to be Joe Houston wearing a different number today on for the PAT. So a little bottom of the card deck deal that time by SC.
Well, one of the things you do early in the season is you show these type of things on extra points so that the other team has to prepare for it every single week. And they're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes more figuring out what you're going to do on a PAT. Then you're going to line up and kick the PT. If they don't line up effectively, you run the play and try to get the 2-point conversion.
Well, at the University of Minnesota, there's a lot going on in this football program, and not all of it is positive. Unfortunately, we take a look at Kevin Cosgrove, who is a co-defensive coordinator. We had a chance to talk to Kevin yesterday, and he is coaching today, but at times I'm sure his mind will be with his son Connor Cosgrove, a reserve wide receiver for the Golden Gophers, who was diagnosed earlier this week with acute leukemia. And Connor was immediately hospitalized at the University Hospital here close to the stadium. There's a chance he may be watching this game. I know they were trying to get a television feed into the hospital. And Connor, if you are watching, your father wanted us to tell you that he draws his strength from you. And I know I speak on behalf of all of our crew here in Minneapolis that we wish you the speediest and most complete recovery possible, and hopefully one day we can see you back on the field.
Deep to receive for the Gophers. Leon Eskridge.
Stoudemire and Eskridge back deep for the Golden Gophers in this tie game. You see the speed that time for Stoudemire until he's upended at the 32-yard line. Breakaway speed. And right in there for Southern California. That's a gain of 28. And, you know, Mike, I know in your coaching career you had your share of hard times like that. And Tim Brewster has gone through a lot lately.
He has. You know, he had a very difficult injury to one of his key safeties and a compound fracture. That was just one of the things that took his life away in a sense. And then Hazy's dad dying a week ago. I think they've had enough. You know, Connor now with leukemia. Those are tough things to deal with.
And John Hazy played against South Dakota one day after his father's funeral. Right now he leads the blocking charge, but not much for Donnell Kirkwood. This is a young man we were told to keep an eye out for. He had a few carries already on the year, and a very promising freshman from Delray Beach, Florida. That's a little bit south of West Palm Beach.
You know, one of the things too, and we've talked about this before, there's not a coaching 101 that tells you how to deal with the death in the family or somebody dealing with a life-threatening illness. Those things are the part of humanity. People think football's life and death. It's not. It's not. Really, life and death is out there.
2nd down and 10. Bennett back in the backfield for the Gophers. And they fake the end around to Gray and again run straight ahead. Jarrell Casey in there, and now a flag at the last second from the umpire. We take a look at the USC defense. Wes Horton getting the start today at the one end. Nick Perry was a reserve until today, getting his first start. Malcolm Smith, senior linebacker. Here's the penalty.
After the play, personal foul. Defense, number 92. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Hebron Fengupo, a junior from Santa Ana, California. And that is the perfect example of the lack of discipline that has plagued USC so far.
That's exactly right. 1/3 of their penalties have come after the whistle, which is, again, a lack of personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct. And, again, as a coach, you will not accept that. He's out of the game already, which is what you have to do. You have to put a stop to it.
Ed Orgeron, a passionate football coach to begin with, coaching with a busted foot, and I'm sure you could guess that conversation at home, and I'm sure it's one-sided. So look at the field position, and Minnesota got that snap almost at the 0. But I tell you this, the Trojans' run defense, as Bennett maybe gets a yard or two, has been pretty stout so far.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They've been tested. Again, Hawaii threw the ball all over the place. They did a much better job last week against Virginia, and Monty Kiffin talked about building on that performance and creating the kind of confidence as a defensive group that you need to trust each other's back. You don't have to make your own plays. You just handle your gap and believe the other guys will take care of theirs.
That is the end of one here in Minneapolis. We are knotted up at 7, and the ball right about in midfield. The Golden Gophers took the lead early after a mistake by USC, but Lane Kiffin's Trojans rallied with a touchdown of their own. Come on back. It's the Cardinal and Gold against the Maroon and Gold in downtown Minneapolis. We get it.
ESPN 3D is here. Contact your video provider or visit ESPN.com/3D.
Folks, welcome to the neighborhood where Applebee's 2 for $20 is better than ever this season. More from the sideline.
That's right, Boomer. Applebee's 2 for $20 is stuffed with more flavor, like rich and tender Florentine ravioli with chicken and provolone stuffed meatballs, plus classics like the fire-grilled 7-ounce sirloin. 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, $20. Back to you, Boomer.
The best deal in the neighborhood just got better, and the Swami predicts total domination.
And there you have it.
There's no place like the neighborhood. Open until midnight or later.
Do you have any idea what this is used for?
You can do whatever you want. My team is going to come busting through that door.
Here we go.
Right
now! Johnson, secure the pizza puffs in the kitchen. Bert, I want a recon team on that brunette in the corner, and I'll commandeer the Bud Light.
It's the sure sign of a good time. The just right taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Hey, you guys got any ice?
And now I'll turn it over to the Gecko.
Ah, thank you, sir. As we all know, Geico has been saving people money on RV, camper and trailer insurance, as well as motorcycle insurance. Ah, sorry. Technical difficulties.
What about this?
What's this one do? Maybe that one.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We run motorcycle insurance?
Take 15 minutes to see how much you could save on motorcycle, RV, and camper insurance.
Every day, 36 kids learn that they have cancer. Over the last 12 years, Hyundai's Hope on Wheels program has raised more than $14 million to help find a cure. In fact, your local Hyundai dealer makes a donation for every car sold. Of course, you don't have to buy a Hyundai to make a difference. Just visit HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org to help and give a little hope, no matter what wheels you drive.
Boy, I tell you, this party was something special.
Hold on, Coach. We got one more surprise for you here. Check this out.
You shouldn't have. What do you think, huh?
Happy birthday, Coach.
Where you going?
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on ESPNU. Continues at 10 a.m. on ESPN.
It's the kind of day when you just can't expect children to sit still all day at a football game. They're going to take the ball themselves and go play. Beautiful mid-50s temperatures here in Minneapolis, and a tight ball game so far. Knotted up at 7, and the Golden Gophers on the move.
Second and 8.
They've been running, Mike, it seems to me, and your eyes are a lot more trained than mine, that they're running almost the identical running play. That one only gets them about 3 yards. So we take a look back at our Dodge Drive recap and Minnesota's first touchdown drive. And USC helped them with some mistakes.
No question. You see a big play on broken coverage to Marquise, and he's the guy you don't want to let him get out there by himself because he can run. The penalty in the end zone again, the holding penalty. Good call by the quarterback. He helped the officials, and then just the power running game to get the ball in the end zone.
They're down at about 5 for the Gophers. And a little pass underneath, short of the first down. The tight end, Eric Lair. Here comes 4th down and a couple of yards to go. It's about a full 2 here, Mike. You think Tim Brewster's going to go for it?
You know, I'll tell you what, this is at no man's land. It's probably either punt or fake or go for it. It's too long for a field goal. Looks as if they're going to punt, but again, I'm sure SC is keeping their defense on the field with the thought that this could be a fake.
Now, one of the themes we got from the Gophers coaches was 2 first downs per possession. They got to think on that drive, was it not 2?
No, and they might try it right here.
Now they bring Areski in, and that punt just came off his foot funny.
And that's unfortunate. You don't want the ball outside the 20 in this situation. You'd hope to put it down inside there.
It dies at the 23-yard line. Just a 20-yard punt for the freshman from Chicago. But this will be the worst starting position for Lane Kiffin and Matt Barkley so far today.
For years,
Blake Ailes, they're really loaded and talented deep in that position.
And USC will get a first down, crossing into with Dylan Baxter running between the tackles, freshman from San Diego. Seen a lot of straight ahead football from the offensive mind so far on both sides.
Well, both teams want to run the ball. Both defensive coordinators say they have to stop the run. That's really the keys to winning the football game. Time of possession, I'm not sure it helps the offense as much, but it can keep a very potent offense off the field for your defense.
Well, Minnesota is the #1 team in time of possession in the country after the first couple of games. Deep drop. Barkley taking a shot down the middle. Johnson's open. Touchdown, USC. And unlike last week against Virginia, when one of those was called back, there are no flags.
No, and this is exactly what Minnesota feared. They said they had to close the middle. Here's the middle receiver running a post route down the field, perfectly hit in stride by Barkley. Great job. You see it from the angle now, thrown over the top. Perfect throw, and again, beats the coverage one-on-one. Very difficult to cover Ronald Johnson one-on-one all game long.
And here we go again with an odd formation. This time they are going to go for two with Mustaine, and he will not make it. USC fails on the conversion, and 6 Gophers make sure that the 2 points stay off the board. D.L. Wilhite mainly responsible for that, but that doesn't take away from a gorgeous throw from Matt Barkley, hitting his big play receiver, Ronald Johnson, for the 4th time this season.
Sandwich lady, 2 o'clock.
Oh, hey.
$5.50. Actually, we're all good today, sandwich lady. We love your chicken sandwiches, but Taco Bell's got chicken flatbread sandwiches for under $1. So...
$5.50. No, $5.50. Under $1. You don't scare me.
It's under $1, and not everyone's happy about it. The new chicken flatbread sandwich. Warm flatbread, flame-grilled chicken, and melty cheese. Only at Taco Bell. Why pay more?
Let's throw down some style. Style that lasts a lifetime. What do you say we get the look we want, the softness we need, and an unbeatable lifetime stain warranty for whatever life throws at it? Then, let's save big on the installation. We're lowering the cost of going barefoot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Get exclusive Martha Stewart Living and Platinum Plus installed in your whole house for only $37.
Yeah, sometimes I worry.
Sometimes I worry. What if something bad happens?
So what happens if someone gets my credit or debit card and buys a ton of stuff?
That would be really, really bad.
With Bank of America's Zero Liability Guarantee, you're not responsible for any fraudulent charges on your card.
Guaranteed.
Bank of America says they'll credit any fraudulent charges back to my account as soon as the next day.
The next day.
That makes me feel better about using these cards. They got my back.
They got my back.
The opportunity to worry less about fraud with the Zero Liability Guarantee from Bank of America.
See you, buddy. Pardon me. These vets must be here for the parade.
Would you look at that? Paying to have a designer's name all over your luggage. What is that?
Excuse me, sir. Whose name is on your duffel bag?
My name, Connor Bryant.
Now that's deserving a piece of the High Life.
Miller High Life is saluting vets of Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, for every bottle cap return, 10 cents will be donated to help give vets a piece of the High Life.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
The iconic Mary Tyler Moore statue, representing the opening scene from one of the greatest television sitcoms of all time, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, right in the heart of downtown Minneapolis. Of course, we all remember the WJM newsroom and Ted Baxter. In fact, I almost wore that powder blue blazer in his honor today, but I went with a darker color.
I think you should have. I think it would have been apropos.
Actually, there is one at the Smithsonian. That's how great that show was. And that's how great Ronald Johnson was, as he picks up a little of extra air for the hitting the long touchdown, capping off a 77-yard drive in 4 plays, a 53-yard, the longest pass play of the season so far for SC. As you take a look at Troy Stoudemire, a dangerous kick returner for the Gophers. He'll try from the 9. Interesting move to reverse directions. He is shifty. However, after all that drama, he's out to the 28-yard line as we go to Bristol and Reese Davis for a Sports Center right now.
Guys, I'm not sure he's quite as shifty as Denard Robinson. Sports Center right now brought to you by Discover Rewards. And Denard Robinson over 200 yards passing, 100 more rushing. But they had to hang on and barely escape against UMass, did the Wolverines, 42-37 the final.
You got to wonder if the hype got to Michigan just a little bit. Play action. Weber, plenty of time. And the good coverage will force him to run. The ball's down at the 35. USC with a chance. Now, was he down? But at the moment, looks like the ruling on the field is a fumble. It was Kennard who forced the fumble, and McDonald who recovered it.
Here we watch the replay. You see him drop back, surveys the field, doesn't have it, tucks the ball, gets up the field. Again, looks like he's covering the ball, but I think it's out. Unfortunately, I think he's lost control. We'll see what happens. They're going to try to run a play quickly. Evidently, the instant replay people upstairs are saying, no, it's okay.
Yeah, the Big Ten replay crew. This is an entire Big Ten officiating crew. And you can see at the top of the field, the far sideline, Lane Kiffin is speaking with an official. Wait a minute. You guys aren't going to look at that?
Yeah, and he might have thought they were going to do it because he didn't call timeout to challenge that. So, again, you can see this again from this angle. We look at it, tucks the ball, and he does a good job of covering up. We just can't seem to see. He may be down there before the ball comes out. Looked like he was actually down. His back hit the ground before the ball came out.
Yeah, I thought the ruling on the field had been fumbled because I did not hear any whistles initially, but the officials made the correct call. So it's Golden Gopher football after the first down. And wrestling outside the 40-yard line as Eskridge picks up a couple there, and McDonald on the stop. Now, after USC scored on a spectacular throw by Barkley, they went for 2 here.
Yeah, and I don't know that coach is very happy about that. This is a quarterback's decision on the field. Mustaine is the guy calling the plays. He decided they had a number here. They had more people than the defense had over there. However, he misread it, didn't quite get in. They may not line up like that again.
And you notice the last guy in there trying to push Mustaine forward was the kicker. So he was out there if they wanted to go that way.
Yeah, that's a thing where they count and again decide whether we should just kick it. If they line up right, we're going to kick it. If they don't, we're going to try and go for 2.
Straight ahead running play finally popping for Minnesota. What a hit. Delivered to the 45-yard line by Kirkwood, who got into it with Starling. Starling finally brought him down, but that is a first down. The Gophers have been very patient running straight ahead, and it finally popped.
And that patience is exactly what we talked about. You get through the line of scrimmage, you're running north and south, you find a crease and you hit it, and now you're into the secondary untouched. Great open field tackle, because if he doesn't make it, he's gone for a touchdown.
15 yards for the freshman. Well, there's your 2 first downs per possession right there, Coach. The goal for the Gophers. And again, straight ahead. That has been a play we've seen quite frequently.
Yeah, they're not running a huge diversity of plays. They talked about they're not going to run to the east or west against SC. They're going to run at speed. They're going to run straight ahead, use the power and the weight of that offensive line to move people and then hopefully create some seams that their running backs can get through.
Well, you mentioned size and weight. On the 2-deep roster for the Golden Gophers, their offensive line goes at 6'4", 314-pound average. They do try to run a little wide, and it's not going to work. It'll be a loss of a couple of yards. And Sharice Wright among the tacklers that time for the Trojans.
And running the outside zone or stretch play against SC becomes problematic because their team speed is so good. Again, Minnesota's got to get back to running north and south and or an occasional play action on running downs.
So it's 3rd down and a dozen.
And this is one of the things they talked about. Drop back is not their strength. They need to get better. They don't want to be in these 3rd and obvious passing situations.
SC brings the blitz, and Weber is sacked. Pressure came from T.J. McDonald from his safety position, number 7, and Monty Kiffin, the old fox in the press box up here, dials up a winning blitz.
And you bring one more off the edge, you can see it again, number 7 coming through. That's, again, in an obvious pass situation, you know guys are going to pin their ears back and come after you. Again, they tried a screen earlier that didn't work. They're going to have to come back and throw on early downs.
Mareski in the punt, and he blasts this one. He took the driver out. That went all the way into the end zone. So last time he kind of chunked the wedge. This time he pulled out the big stick and hammered the punt. So it's a touchback, and the Trojans will take over at the 20-yard line following their first sack of the ball game.
What can you do with 7 minutes, 59 seconds, and 32 100ths? Maybe walk your dog around the block. Or read a couple of columns on the op-ed page. Even shine and buff a pair of wingtips. Or you could silence every skeptic on the planet by blistering through a 13-mile lap at Germany's famed Nürburgring. Inspired and humbled by all the great cars that came before us, like the BMW M5 and the Mercedes-Benz E63. We didn't see this time as something to cherish, but more a starting line from which to keep pushing. The CTSV, the world's fastest production sedan. Cadillac. The new standard of the world.
543. Quiznos 543 value menu. Grab a large sub for only $5. A toasty torpedo for only $4. Or a toasty bullet for only $3.
Toasty. Pressure can cause anyone's deodorant to fail. Introducing Gillette Odor Shield Antiperspirant. It targets and neutralizes odor at the source. Help eliminate odor. Don't just cover it up. The Longhorns and the Fighting Irish face difficult tests on the road on Saturday Night Football. Texas, Texas Tech, and Notre Dame, Michigan State. Tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC or ESPN2. College football lives here.
At the start of the chase, the door's wide open. It's time to put the pedal down, leave the pack, and get that cup.
The Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire. Tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN.
The show made by the nation is packing its bags for a Big Ten road trip. Oh yes, Sports Nation taking its characters and costumes and going to hang out with some of college football's most passionate fans. 4 days in Big Ten country, Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. on ESPN2. And mark my words, the nation will never be the same.
Yeah, they'll be in Madison, Iowa City, Ann Arbor, and Happy Valley that week. What a great road trip that's going to be for everybody involved. You'll enjoy that one. There's your score and time here at TCF Bank Stadium on the campus of the University of Minnesota. USC not ranked in the coaches poll, part of that laundry list of probations, violations, and punishments afterwards, but they are ranked number 18 in the AP. And this is Stanley Havili getting them. There's a flag coming in there behind the play and came from the umpire, looks like there. Gary Tinsley, number 51 for Minnesota on the stop.
Holding. Offense. Number 61. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Lane Kiffin played high school football in Bloomington, at Bloomington Jefferson High School. And I think all football fans are aware who Lane's dad is. One of the great defensive minds of all time, Monty Kiffin, who followed Lane to Tennessee, and then when Lane went out west, came out to L.A. with him as well.
There aren't that many father-son combos where the son is the head coach and the father's the assistant coach. This one works in reverse.
And it works, too, because Monty, one of the great defensive minds in the game's history. Barkley gets rid of it quickly. Some good blocking here for USC. And out back to the original line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line. That's Dylan Baxter. Well, here's Monty Kiffin's resume. You go back, I mean, he goes back to working with Bob Devaney at Nebraska.
That's a ways back there, I'll tell you what. 25 years as assistant coach in the NFL with 2 Super Bowl trophy. Assistant coach at Tennessee and USC, and he did a great job of improving that Tennessee defense last year.
And oh, by the way, who interviewed for the Minnesota job in 2007 and ultimately went to Tim Brewster? Lane Kiffin. Now we have flags again. I mentioned at the top of the show, USC is the most penalized team in the country based on total yards.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And those are the other type of penalties, those before the whistle and after the whistle, that drive coaches crazy, give us gray hair. One of the things, too, and talking to Matt Barkley, he likes this coaching staff, and they're running the same offense. The terminology is a little bit different, but he really feels like that no dirty laundry thing has to be on the players.
It looked like I was reading Lane's lips, and he said his hand was not down.
Yeah, that you know, again, I think the Big Ten has been a little bit, I'll say, nitpicky in terms of some of those penalties this year.
Not a whole lot there for Alan Bradford. Good job by the Minnesota defense to stretch that out. Cooper and Tinsley doing the job. There's a good look at Gary Tinsley, a junior from Jacksonville, Florida. And there's the penalty mark. None for the home team, and for USC, 4 for 34.
And the Minnesota coaching staff has to hope that stays up. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You don't want self-inflicted wounds. And 4 penalties already in this game are self-inflicted wounds.
3rd and long for Matt Barkley in the USC offense. Takes a shot down the middle. It'll be short of the first down. Make it a little bit easier for the punter. But Robert Woods made the catch. Michael Carter out of Pompano Beach, Florida, in on the stop.
Great protection. You notice that was almost a maximum protection type situation. We talked with the Minnesota defensive coach. They said that they are going to struggle to blitz because they do protect with 7 and 8 players sometimes, only ran 2-man routes. They just didn't get enough yardage on that completion.
Now Jacob Harfman also wearing number 10, as is kicker Joe Houston, but that's an amazing statistic. And he's got a heavy foot. You could hear that throughout the stadium. It almost hit a Minnesota player in the back, but did not. Or did it? Yes, it did. The call on the field is that is USC ball.
Yeah, I thought it hit him in the foot, the back of his foot. We'll have to see. I would assume on replay we might see that. I'm sure Coach Kiffin is asking for an explanation.
Well, let's see if we can see this.
Oh, hit him in the back. I think came down off his back.
Kicking team. First down.
Boy, an alert call. That's the back judge on that one.
That's one of the most frustrating things that can happen to you as a coach, is to have your guy running down the field, blocking, working hard, and have the ball hit him in the back. There's no control you have on that.
Yeah, that's Brock Vereen.
Play is under further review.
And that's not a surprise.
No charge timeout.
Yeah, that is not a surprise that the replay crew wants to take a closer look at this. This is a potentially very serious turnover against Minnesota.
Unbelievable change of field position and momentum. And again, one of those things as a coach, like I said, you can't control this. You're telling your guys to, you go down the field and you screen the man that you're with, try to push him out. What you have to do is really be aware. Your guy who returning has to yell, see, he's getting, get away, get away. He's got to yell where the ball is, but no way for that young man to know.
The thing is very, very difficult. And of course, it's got to be clear and conclusive if you're going to overturn the call on the field. It takes that funny bounce anyway because of the spin of the ball.
Yeah, I can't tell, again, if the trajectory changes. That's the thing that they'll look at very concisely upstairs.
Well, the replay official is Tom Ransom. This is a tough one. This is not easy. You need one of those 100-foot screens to take a look at this one.
Well, and you have to be certain. You have to see something on film to overturn what was called on the field.
And you see a little of that black tire come up when the ball makes contact with the ground. That's a good look there. One more time. You know what may end up saving Minnesota here is when you see that those tires kick back up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it changed trajectory coming off his back or coming off the back of his foot. It looks like it. Of course, if it touches him at all, it's a live ball.
The ruling on the field stands as called. First down, USC.
And again, I think we should point out it's got to be conclusive evidence to overturn the ruling on the field, and that is a difficult call for the replay official to make.
Tough situation now for Minnesota. They've got to buck up on defense. That's a tough play to put them in this situation.
Barkley in trouble, turned into the sack. Kendall Gregory McGee, the freshman from Aurora, Colorado, picks up the sack and dumps Barkley back into USC territory.
Well, slide protection is a turn-back protection. If you break a seam inside, you can put pressure, but you can't run over the top of the protection. You see on the outside, turns right into that tackle, thinks he's doing his job by keeping the man outside. The quarterback has to get rid of the ball, can't turn into the protection.
Well, they spot the ball still in Minnesota territory, but barely. Brandon Kirksey, number 96, brought the first pressure up the middle and forced the sack. Loss of 11. And USC plays it conservatively, and that doesn't work with Tyler. That might be a loss of a yard back to midfield. Anthony Jacobs in there on the stop. All right, here is today's Aflac trivia question. Who was USA Today's National High School Football Player of the Year 10 years ago? Now, we should mention that our staff has kept this under lock and key.
I tell you what, this stadium's going crazy right now with the defensive effort of this Minnesota Gopher team.
Slant pattern. And again, USC just takes a little bite out of the apple. Robert Woods on the catch. Vereen on the stop. And at the 42-yard line.
It's a great job by the defense to rise up in that situation and force a punt.
Yeah, you had a sudden change that time, unexpected against Minnesota, and Harfman in to punt.
USC using a shield punt team this year, which has become a little bit more in vogue across the nation. They like it a lot in terms of their protection.
Very, very high kick, and another backward bounce, but inside the 20-yard line. That's the goal of any punter. That's the third time that Harfman has done that. Now, I think I have a guess. But I also am holding the answer in my hand, so I got to be careful. Without looking, and you can vouch, Mike, I'm holding it to my side. I think the answer is Reggie Bush.
I'm not sure.
All right, that's just a pure guess. All right.
Be.
Oh, well, who was selected as the USA Today? Look at that, Joe Mauer. Well played, fellas.
A young man from Minnesota. How's that?
Yep. The only athlete ever to be selected as the USA Today High School Player of the Year in 2 sports, football as a quarterback and baseball as a catcher. Nicely done. Great question. Great pressure put that time on the quarterback. Weber got belted by Wes Horton. And the official decided not to call a late hit on that, and good coverage on that, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
We talked about play action on running downs, which I think is great. Although this is a big offensive line, they're not quite as nimble in space. And when you try to strike somebody in terms of simulating the run look, you become more vulnerable to a pass move. So it's more difficult to do that. Obviously, that's why we don't see as much from this team.
Kirkwood, the tailback. And Kirkwood gets an opening. He'll be right around the 1st down marker. TJ McDonald on the stop, and here's Reese Davis.
All right, guys, coming up on the Bud Light halftime report, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year, Mark Ingram, is back, and boy, did he return in style. Didn't take him long to get 100 yards. And Denard Robinson's made it routine to get 100 yards for Michigan. He needed just about every one of them against UMass. Mark and Lou join me. We'll see you in just a bit.
All right, Reese, by the way, we should mention that our special guest in the 3rd quarter will be USC Athletic Director Pat Hayden, is coming by to chat about his program. Deep drop for Weber, and almost intercepted. Now, this is an interesting flag here, Coach. Which way does this go?
Well, I'm going to say that there was contact through. The defender came through the receiver to the ball. Although, again, that deeper route, the quickness of the USC defensive backs, it's a little bit scary. I think he beat him out of the break, in all honesty.
Nikhil Roby was on the defense.
Pass interference. Defense, number 37. Spot foul. 1st down.
They say the defender has an equal right to the football, but he cannot go through the man to get to it. So here again, you can see this. The receiver coming back to the ball. And again, I'm not sure I would have called it, but again, it's a difficult, even as an offensive coach, I don't believe in all the calls of defensive pass interference.
Ball to the 35, 1st and 10 for the Gophers. Under 2 minutes now in our half. That was almost a spectacular catch by Dejon McKnight. But it's going to be 2nd down instead. Jimmy Johnson is racing for an historic 5th straight championship, while 4-time NASCAR champion Jeff Gordon and regular season points leader Kevin Harvick look to make history of their own. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup at New Hampshire on ESPN tomorrow at 1 Eastern. Coverage starts with NASCAR Countdown at noon on ESPN2. And of course, they've reset the point totals. Jimmy Johnson's, I think, only 10 points behind already, and has a history of running well at New Hampshire. And USC prepared for that play, maybe a yard.
You know, too bad that previous pass, crossing route underneath, would have gotten quite a bit of yardage. A little bit of pressure on Weber as he threw. Would have been a great catch and run because he would have outflanked the defense pretty quickly. Now it's a 3rd and long situation again, which you have to decide. Drop back pass, risk the blitz. What are we going to do?
Looks like Minnesota's content to burn some clock here. They do have 2 timeouts left. USC has 3.
If I were SC, I would have taken timeout a long time ago, trying to get the ball back.
I'm kind of wondering.
Maybe they're content to go in with the lead also.
I guess. I'm a little surprised they're not going to burn one here, but Lane Kiffin in that same kind of calm pose. It is his sideline demeanor. And now we'll have a timeout.
Minnesota.
So they have 1 remaining. So Lane Kiffin's squad up by 6. Minnesota facing 3rd and long.
You can always find a positive opportunity when you know where to turn. With Amway, there's opportunity to pursue another path where products created for healthier living and the ability to own your own business can help you take steps toward economic freedom. That's the power of positive. That's Amway. To learn more, contact an Amway independent business owner.
So who wants a copy of Madden?
Madden NFL 11. Rated E for everyone.
Interesting thing about this matchup is the school colors for Minnesota and Southern California are virtually identical. Little shades of the Cardinal or the Maroon, a little bit different, but it's been kind of fun seeing supporters of both sides running around town. Meantime, 3rd and 9 for the Golden Gophers, and USC sitting there with all those timeouts, Mike.
I'd anticipate they run the football, and then SC will call timeout, try to block the punt, but you never know.
And Weber hesitated and lobs it. Oh, that's a terrible pass, and it is intercepted. That's Jawanza Starling, and if he'd hung on to it the first time, Mike, he might still be running.
Yeah, and you can see Adam Weber just hanging his head there. He knew he shouldn't have thrown that ball up over the middle. That was just a question of, that was like fair catch a punt. And unfortunately, that's the worst thing you can do in this situation. You can see him again dropping back, doing a nice job right here of avoiding the rush, rolling out to his right. Now off balance, throwing off his back foot. And again, not caught cleanly, but again, SC now has a chance. Of course, only 36 seconds left, but they've got 3 timeouts.
That's the first interception Weber has thrown this season, and the first for Starling to pick off. Down the middle of the field, and that's intercepted. A miscommunication among the quarterback and the receiver. And back in action, Kyle Ferret, who missed the first 2 games because of suspension, comes up with the play.
What goes around comes around. Neither of these quarterbacks have thrown an interception on the year. They throw back to back, and again, an ill-advised decision by Adam Weber, and just a miscommunication, I think, here on the route for Barkley and USC. And Kyle Ferret being in the right place at the right time.
Trying to get it to Ellison, the tight end, and the pass way behind him, and Ellison was open.
Yeah, I think he thought Ellison was going to stay up in the seam as opposed to running the in route.
And while the fans are booing, or else I don't think they're yelling Brewster at this point. I think this might be the prudent thing to do. Go ahead and get in the dressing room.
Well, from a coaching perspective,
USC.
Timeout USC. SC is going to make them snap the ball a couple more times.
Well, what do they always say to you coaches? Don't take those timeouts in the locker room with you. You can't use them. Some guys got to come back on the field now.
I'm Aaron Deering from the U of M. To truly understand our impact on the natural world, you have to experience it firsthand. So this is my classroom. Students from around the world join our team online as we research climate change in the Arctic. Together, we learn about our environment and how our actions can make a difference. So the search continues.
What if we could choose students with the highest character, intellect, talent, and a drive for the greater good? Students whose grades and SATs tell only a fraction of their story. What if we could choose students who could go anywhere? At USC, we can and do choose these students. In turn, they've made this university better, rising farther and faster than any other in national rankings. For that, we'd like to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Just about everybody in the stadium, including Goldie the Gopher, thought we were coming up to halftime, but instead Lane Kiffin tossed a timeout onto the field, and he might do it again.
Use them while you got them. Make them snap the ball and execute that play.
And Minnesota doesn't take a knee. They have to run a legitimate play here. And it'll be short, and you see what USC is trying to do, tug the football out.
And any kind of turnover allows SC an opportunity for a field goal or throw the ball in the end zone.
And
Big Ben.
And they take their second timeout. Well, the 2005 season has been sort of swirled in controversy regarding Reggie Bush and whether or not he should have even been on the field. But what he did do when he was on the field was magnificent.
I saw Reggie Bush up close and personal several times. He was the greatest player at that time. Whether he should have the Heisman or not, he was ineligible. I don't believe in an ineligible player because of what he did. And they're not, I will say this, I don't believe they're allegations anymore because SC wouldn't be on probation and have the penalties if they were merely allegations.
But interestingly enough, when he returned the Heisman, made the announcement he would not admit guilt, even though we all jumped to that assumption when it first happened. But I'm kind of be with you, Mike. But what's so bad about this is that was such a great season. He was so good and so much fun to watch, and now it's tainted.
You're right. He was very, very impressive.
And you were there. You saw it.
No, I saw him. He was magic on the field.
And Minnesota is going to bang it straight ahead, and we're going to have another timeout called.
Timeout. USC. Their third and final timeout of the half.
So the Gophers will have to bring on the punt team. Here's what Reggie Bush had to say. You've got universities making millions of dollars off these kids, and they don't get paid. The majority of the college athletes who come in with nothing. What do you think about it? I mean, you also served as the athletic director at Oregon for a year. How do you stand on athletes getting paid?
I actually agree with Reggie Bush to a degree. I think that athletes should get more. I think they should get the full cost of attendance. I think the other thing is that what young athletes, especially football players, don't realize is the money that's made in football and men's basketball pays for all the other sports at the university. And those budgets are not generally profit margins. They are break-even margins.
And let's see what USC has planned. Ronald Johnson.
No returner back. They're coming to get it.
And almost did, but good poise by Areski to kick that. And it'll head toward the USC bench. We'll still have enough time for one more play or a knee, or you know what? Who knows what's going to happen now?
This can be a big bend. This could be a screen pass. Again, it's an opportunity that they would not have had they let the clock run out. So I'm sort of excited by this. Again, if I were the coach and I'm an offensive coach, every chance I get, I want to have an opportunity to score.
What was interesting is they forced Minnesota to play out, too. They could have had a turnover instead of just taking a knee, and people were running to the locker room on that first knee.
Exactly. And we've got another 5 minutes of football that we had.
And interesting, you take a look at the Minnesota defensive formation. They've got 4 pretty deep.
Now, see, it looks like he's going to take a knee.
And they do. So something predictable for a USC team that went for 2 and didn't get it and called their timeouts in an interesting manner. But the halftime score is Southern California 13 and Minnesota 7. We're going to go to the studio and the Bud Light halftime report with Reese Davis. Reese?
Dave, thank you very much. SC. Not razor sharp again, but still with the lead at the half. Glad to have you with us. Hall of Fame running mates alongside Lou Holtz and Mark May. You know, part of the discussion this week, guys, how prudent was it for Alabama to bring Mark Ingram back, the Heisman Trophy winner? Arkansas is coming up, ought to be able to handle Duke. But you want to get him knocked around a little bit, don't you?
Just a little bit, a little lather.
Well, of course, they would have to tackle him for that to count. The first carry of the season for the Heisman Trophy winners, Nick Saban taking his team into Wallace Wade Stadium, and Ingram goes for 48. How's the knee look, Mayday?
Oh, it looks pretty good, but terrific blocking on the outside on the edge by the tight end, and Mark Ingram does the rest. He goes 48 yards. Huge pickup for the Crimson Tide.
That would set up a touchdown. Alabama scored another one, and then still in the first quarter, Ingram goes over the top.
Well, you've seen him in an open field. Now you see him with good, tough physicalness.
They like him so much, they're carrying him 10 yards back.
You know, Ingram went over 100 yards in his first 3 carries. And then the knee's fine. 17 yards. McElroy's thrown 3 touchdown passes. It looks like Trent Richardson just scored a second ago, not even to halftime. Alabama might score 100. Florida and Tennessee. Well, this game slipped off the radar with the Volunteers' struggles. Mike Gillislee goes in, and Florida's up 7-3. Now, Tennessee's punting to the Gators, and the Gators, Janoris Jenkins, Lou, really another special teams mistake.
Well, ever since they lost Brendan James to graduation, they've had trouble handling the punts. That's not the first one they fumbled this year.
But on the ensuing drive, Tennessee gets it right on the doorstep. This is not on the Matt Sims resume reel. Picked off by Jonathan Bostic. Florida able to escape that miscue. About to go to half on Rocky Top. Gators up by 4. Here's the game of the day thus far in the SEC. Arkansas and Georgia. A.J. Green has to serve that full 4-game suspension. Ryan Mallett will throw back on the wheel, made to Ronnie Wingo.
Oh, terrific job. No relation to Trey, but Ronnie does a nice job of taking him for the score.
No, because if you've been related to Trey, would have dropped it. Slant Aaron Murray to DeMar's King. Georgia down 24-17. This was after Mark Richt had a prayer meeting with the fellas there before the 4th quarter. A lot of energy from the Dogs. Bashawn Ely tied at 24, but here come the Razorbacks. Whooping. Greg Childs going.
Just a beautiful move. He's one of the better receivers in the conference, and not many people give him the credit he truly deserves.
But watch Aaron Murray. He's about 6 feet tall. Watch him start to go all Doug Flutie on the people. Look how far he throws this ball, Mark. About 67 in the air, and there's a legit catch for the Dogs to make it. Couldn't hold it, and Arkansas gets its first SEC road win with Ryan Mallett at quarterback, 31-24. Hogs had it, let it get away, got it back. What does a game like this do for Arkansas's belief that they can win the SEC West and play in the SEC championship game?
One, it builds a lot of confidence that you can go on the road in the SEC and win, something that they haven't been able to do in quite a while. But Ryan Mallett, their quarterback, was absolutely spectacular in this football game. Huge numbers, 21-33, 380, and the touchdowns. But what's key to me is leading his team that final drive, making the big plays, making something happen. The score is tied at the end of the game. You get the ball back in your hands with a little over a minute to go, and what do? You take your team down the field and score a touchdown.
Oh, I remember last week you saying, let me see Pryor throw in traffic. Let me see him throw where there isn't a big cushion on him. That's the same thing Mallett had. And I'll tell you, Arkansas, congratulations. You got a fine football team. You aren't going to compete for the conference championship until you can run the football. You aren't going to go beat Alabama. I don't care if you play them in Fayetteville, Little Rock, or any spot in between. You aren't going to beat them when you can only rush the ball for 53 yards.
You will never hear the words out of my mouth, Terrell Pryor throws the ball as well as Ryan Mallett.
I didn't say that, but all you're saying is I want to see him throw it when they're in the 20-yard cushion.
There wasn't a 20-yard cushion. He was 380 yards.
Ryan Mallett's a great quarterback. He wasn't so great in the Liberty Bowl last year, but the point is this.
One game. If I remember from last year.
The point I make is this. He had people wide open. That's a tribute to Coach Petrino, a tribute to the wide receiver. They got to be able to run the football. They aren't going to beat Alabama.
Just think one thing about a quality quarterback. He threw for 30 touchdowns and 7 interceptions last year. He's the only quarterback in the FCS thus far this season in 3 weeks to throw for over 1,000 yards.
I don't dispute that one iota. I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback. I'm saying Arkansas is not a great team right now because they aren't balanced. They aren't good enough on defense.
And the FBS, the bowl subdivision, yes, right? You mean, yes. Okay, the high. Let's just say 1A.
1A.
Say 1A.
I know 1A and I know 2A.
So nothing confusing about Ryan Mallett's performance. Arkansas and Alabama next week. Little Red going up to the Pacific Northwest. We'll show you the 3:30 games and how the Huskers have looked sharp.
ESPN College Football Primetime. Clemson, Auburn, and Iowa, Arizona.
Today's the day I double down.
The KFC Double Down. Double meat, double cheese, double bacon, double awesome. Get yours today. So good.
So S-O-G-double-O-D good.
Go, dude, go! Are you sure the parachute was packed right? Probably!
Sometimes probably doesn't cut it. That's why Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Sign up at Valvoline.com.
Oh,
always getting attention. But some of you still don't know quack about... So I'll serve it up. If you get sick or hurt, Aflac pays you cash fast to help pay for things major medical insurance doesn't, like rent, car payments, and groceries. Aflac! Get up, it's chicken.
Primetime on the Big Ten Network has gone big time. Every weeknight, up to 90 minutes of original shows. Big Time Dreams.
Everybody wants your autograph.
Big Time History.
We've done, we've come back.
Big Time Legends. Saturday is game time, but prime time is big time. All this fall on the Big Ten Network.
I want to see the most college football.
So I ordered ESPN Game Plan on DirecTV.
I get up to 15 out-of-market games per week.
The top conferences.
And key matchups.
Games you can't get anywhere else.
And the games I want to see.
Order the regular season offer and get the best college football with ESPN Game Plan on DirecTV. To order for only 3 payments of $44.99 each, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or visit directv.com/gameplan.
Fantasy football requires attention to detail and commitment. But some people take shortcuts. Like this guy. Uses NFL Sunday Ticket to track 18 players while watching all the games. Meanwhile, the rest of his league does it the honest way.
Oh, hey, Tom.
It's okay. I'm in his fantasy league. Let's get a smoothie.
Track your fantasy players right on your TV. Upgrade to NFL Sunday Ticket today.
This halftime report is presented by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Matt Barkley and USC. Well, Johnson out there, big play man, and Trojans with a 13-7 lead at the half. Baylor and TCU, only the 6th time in 106 meetings, both have been undefeated, excluding when they've met in season openers. Baylor's going to likely be defeated at the end of this one. Andy Dalton to Jeremy Curley, and then Ed Wesley for the Frogs would get going, Lou.
Well, this is just a nice misdirection there. The problem was that Baylor could not find who had the ball.
6 for 6 for Dalton, 14-3 in the early going. Air Force and Oklahoma. Air Force, the nation's leading rushing team. Landry Jones, who had a huge game against Florida State, finds Kenny Stills. Pick up 20, first down, and then here comes DeMarco Murray.
I love the way DeMarco Murray runs, particularly when he gets inside the 5-yard line. You're not going to stop him. He's going to lower his shoulder and make sure he takes it in for the score, and he does it right there.
OU with a 10-3 lead, just about to go to halftime. Sooners trying to get a late score. We'll let you know if they do. Nebraska and Washington, first quarter. Huskers already up 7-0. Taylor Martinez, I thought, Mark, he was only supposed to be a runner, the throw to Brandon Kenny.
Well, this is going to be his first pass of the year that's going to go for a touchdown. He was 0 for the season, 1 interception, but he's got an arm, Coach. He can get it done with his arm.
Well, he can run up and hand it to the receiver if he has to.
But Jake Locker has had a rough first half passing, but Jake gets it in on the scramble. And then Martinez giving it to Roy Alou Jr. Hello. 28-14. Nebraska with a 2-touchdown lead at the break. Still to come here at halftime. Michigan thought perhaps it could exhale after beating Notre Dame. Not when the Minutemen were showing up, and they took it down to the last minute. Wait till you see what happened in the Big House.
Every day it's getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day it's getting faster.
AT&T and BlackBerry have teamed up to evolve the smartphone. Business made fun. Fun, business. AT&T. Rethink possible.
If you have the audacity to value Main Street substance over Wall Street style.
If you support the rebellious notion that big skyscrapers don't necessarily mean big investment smarts.
If you believe in eye level, not sky level.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do.
FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us. At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Now's the time to hurry into Outback, mate. Come try our tender signature sirloin, seared to juicy perfection. Try it with our succulent grilled shrimp on the barbie, or tasty golden cocoa shrimp, or try our honey Dijon chicken. All for a down under price starting at just $9.95. But it only gets better, mate, because there's still time to win. That's right, until September 30th, every Outback Steakhouse is giving away free Outback for a year. So you might be like this lucky Sheila.
The only thing better than Outback, free Outback.
It's always fresh in the Outback.
Keep them coming. Back it up. Come on, back it up.
I love the first day of camp. Man, these kids make themselves feel right at home.
Isn't that an awesome sight?
Guys, you got ready to end up.
We gotta lower this down, son.
Be careful, those roses have thorns.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Bud Light Halftime Report.
UMass and Michigan. Rich Rodriguez, after that scintillating performance from Denard Robinson, 1 point found his team down 17-7 at 17-14 right before halftime. Robinson and Daryl Stoneham hook up for the second time in the last couple of minutes of the first half. 42-30 game. Kyle Havens of the Minutemen to Andrew Crevice, and UMass is within 5 and going for the onside kick.
Unfortunately, it goes out of bounds.
Unfortunately for the Minutemen. Fortunately for the Maize and Blue, because they couldn't stop them. 42-37. UMass, very good FCS team in the top 25. Ohio U and the Ohio State University. Here is Terrell Pryor on the scramble, Lou.
Oh, he just has protected football. To watch him each week mature and grow in decision-making with the football is impressive.
And this time he throws it to Jake Stoneburner, Mayday.
Nice job rolling to the right, dumping it out there for the touchdown. This was an easy game for the Buckeyes.
43-7 the final. What to watch for tonight? Tigers versus Tigers. The difference between Clemson and Auburn, some say Clemson has a lake. See what kind of difference there is on the football field tonight. This ought to be a good one, Lou.
I think it'll be an excellent football game. That's why I'm looking forward to watching it.
First regular season meeting since 1971, although they have gotten together in bowl games in recent years. Some other notable games tonight, Mayday, some potential for upsets, particularly teams in the top 10 going on the road.
A possibility, but I still like Iowa and Arizona State. That's going to be a great game because after that game, you tune into SportsCenter, then you come on and watch final, and you get all the news and scores and updates, but that's going to be a challenging game.
That's right, great doubleheader tonight. Clemson, Auburn first at 7, then Iowa and Arizona at 10:30 Eastern, SportsCenter, then college football final. Just go to Starbucks, drink some coffee.
Do you have any idea what this is used for?
You can do whatever you want. My team is going to come busting through that door.
Here we go.
Right.
Now! Bill Johnson, secure the pizza puffs in the kitchen. Bert, I want a recon team on that brunette in the corner, and I'll commandeer the Bud Light.
It's the sure sign of a good time. The just right taste of Bud Light.
Threats, a little pennant race action. Braves with a 3-1 lead on the Mets as they try to maybe close ground on the Phillies and maintain position in the wild card race. Padres and Cardinals. Padres also in that wild card race and also in the battle with the Giants in the West. Rockies and Dodgers. Rockies with a 3-0 lead as they play in the bottom of the fourth. Arizona State and Wisconsin. In summer seeing across the country in ABC, ESPN2. Scott Tolzien to Lance Kendricks for the touchdown. Now the ensuing kickoff, waning seconds of the half. Kyle Middlebrooks going. How about the play by Shelton Johnson, Luke 24?
This is just a tremendous effort here because this is the last play of the half.
Arizona State already had a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Time expired. That save point never gave up on the play. Tremendous effort and a saving one for Johnson. BYU and Florida State. It's on ESPNU. FSU already up 6-0. Here goes Chris Thomas, Mark.
Outstanding blocking on the edge. Everybody's got a hat on the hat. No one touches him, and now it's just off to the races. He's going to use his speed. Nobody from Brigham Young's going to come close to catch him.
Florida State blew out the Cougars last year in Provo, but in Tallahassee, a 3-point game at halftime. Good one going on ESPNU. And check that one out. Maryland and West Virginia. Big East desperately looking to beat the non-conference foe from a BCS automatic qualifying conference. Geno Smith, Devin Bailey, 31-17. Coach Stu coaching them up. Got them at 3-0. Ron Eskridge going in for the Gophers. Oh, Gophers! Hanging in just down by. Hey, Lou, you coach there too.
I coached everywhere that plays football.
This halftime report is presented by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of college football presented by Cars.com. There's your score here in Minneapolis on a beautiful day. And the difference in this game so far was that beautiful Barkley to Johnson pass that you just saw. USC win for 2 and did not make it. With Mike Bellotti, I'm Dave Lamont. When we talked to the Minnesota coaching staff, they promised a fairly close to the vest conservative game plan. They only have 109 total yards, but they're only down by 6.
And they have a 4-minute time of possession advantage, which has kept the ball away from a very potent USC offense. So in that regard, I think they're doing what they want. They'd like more points on the board, but they're happy to be within 1 possession striking distance.
With USC so far, have you seen the discipline that they have lacked in the early part of the season?
Well, they had some penalties early, but again, right now, they are getting down to it, and again, hasn't hurt them.
And this is our playbook brought to us all by Bud Light.
And again, you can see this was a play earlier they set up. Trying to get the middle of the field open, and again, one-on-one coverage. Ronald Johnson going down the field, covered by a safety, exactly what USC wanted. They ran play action to take away the underneath coverage. Now you can see him going one-on-one. One step is all he needs, and a perfectly thrown pass from Matt Barkley.
That's the one big play we've had in this football game for the sophomore from Newport Beach, California, and USC will get the ball back to start this third quarter. With Gable and Woods back deep. Tim Brewster, the Golden Gophers coach, told us yesterday, I want this thing close in the fourth quarter, and we'll see what happens.
And they want special teams to tilt the field for them. Hasn't worked yet.
This will be Woods. Had a little opening there, but it was closed pretty quickly around the 25-yard line. As we take a look at the first half stats, we mentioned that Minnesota has only 109 total yards. And at the lower here is a big stat for USC again.
Yeah, penalties again, and they haven't hurt him as much. But again, I think SC would like to put a drive together here to put this thing, separate themselves from the Minnesota Gophers.
Among those 2 turnovers for Minnesota, the first interception thrown by Adam Weber, and USC's turnover, the first interception thrown by Matt Barkley, and they were nearly back-to-back plays.
They were,
yes,
in fact,
they were
back-to-back plays.
You're absolutely right. That's Johnson out in space. Blocker a little bit late getting there. Johnson doing all this work on his own. Picked up a couple of yards.
Nice job by the Minnesota defense, though, to get all the way across the field. They had one-on-one out there with the 2 corners against the 2 receivers. That's a one-man screen. Got one guy to beat, but again, the corners made them held up long enough to get the posse there to tackle Ronald Johnson in space.
But it's never a bad idea to get an athlete like that with some room to work.
No, absolutely. You'll see SC do that a lot. They'll have a running play call. If they get one-on-one coverage outside, they'll just throw the ball to the wide receiver, let him go.
2nd and 8. Barkley play action again. Havili with the juggling catch, made the first man miss, and he'll have a first down.
Havili's one of those hidden weapons in this USC offense. He doesn't run the ball very much. He's more of a receiver, but he's one of the captains. He's a guy they really love in the flat with the ball in his hands. And here you can see again, play action. He steps, he pauses right there, gets a step, and then actually, because I think he was bobbling the ball, took the tackler's mind off of the tackle more than would he catch it. Makes the guy miss, gets the first down.
That is the 89th catch of his career.
Yeah, he's an excellent, excellent receiver.
They brought the tight end Ellison in to block on the left-hand side. They run right where they've had some success running the ball. It's Mark Tyler, a junior from Lancaster, California. Picked up about 3 there.
You know, both of these teams in Hazy and Havili have captains, fullbacks who carry the ball, make yardage that way. Great receivers coming out of the backfield. Very integral cogs in both offenses.
Tyler came in averaging over 6 yards per rush. A little way under that today. Three-step drop. Quick read and incomplete. Intended receiver was Johnson. And Ryan Collado on the coverage.
You know, one of the things, I think the Minnesota defense has really played well today. Other than the one big play where they gave up, they talked about tackling better, not giving up explosive plays, and controlling the line of scrimmage. And really, they're doing a great job of that so far.
Yeah, the most explosive play they gave up was the 53-yarder to Johnson that's put USC in front. Pressure from the edge as Barkley very calmly gets it to his tight end. Rhett Ellison into Golden Gophers territory and a first down. That's a gain of 10.
We talked about how comfortable he is throwing to his tight ends. And again, you can see here from this angle, it's just a little out route by the tight end. And he catches it clean, gets up. They take the receiver to pull the corner out of there. And the tight ends, they told us Rhett Ellison may end up in the backfield sometimes too, because they're trying to spell Havili and keep him healthy.
Draw play with Tyler and out to around the 45-yard line. Gain of about 3 yards that time. Well, you know, it's interesting. When all the sanctions started to go down, the coaching changed, and Pete Carroll left, you had some players who just left. I mean, you lost Seantrell Henderson to the University of Miami, the top recruit in the country. Other players went to Louisville and to Connecticut, and so Lane Kiffin he's not going to have a full deck of cards for a while, and doesn't have it this year either.
No, I think they have 73 players on scholarship right now out of a possible 85. And again, they can sign 10 less scholarship each of the next 3 years.
Blitz from the edge, and USC is ready for it. That'll be should be first down, and is, and now a late flag that might have been an out-of-bounds hit on Dylan Baxter.
One of the things that you see, the zone blitz coming, they showed it a little bit early. SC's deal is to throw into the blitz where you're bringing people from. There's not enough people out there. Nice job of advancing the football. This looks like it may have gone against SC. Maybe a holding penalty. One of those receivers blocking down the field hung on just a little bit long.
They are backing up.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, that's going to get an argument that Lane Kiffin will not win.
Now you can see again, you cannot block below the waist coming back towards the football. And again, right there, it's in the 5-yard, 10-yard area. That inside receiver blocked below the waist. You've got to stay up on that block.
Brandon Carswell charged with that penalty, and that's a significant one. It was going to be first down at the Minnesota 35-yard line. It is now second down at the USC 40.
Once again, dirty laundry on the field.
Play action fake. Barkley with a lot of pressure, and he's picked off at the 35-yard line. Second interception by Minnesota today. That's James Manuel who comes up with it.
James Manuel playing center field. They get pressure on Barkley. He's trying to throw the ball to the tight end down the seam. It's overthrown because of pressure. And again, James Manuel, maybe because Kyle Therrett is there, he knows where to go a little bit more today. He's in great position.
Anthony Jacobs provided the pressure in Barkley's face. It's Manuel who comes up with a pick, and the Golden Gophers, when we return, will have their first possession of the half.
From an early age, Timothy Richmond understood that with knowledge comes confidence. In junior high, while abroad, he explained how jellyfish stings can be neutralized with vinegar in perfect Italian. As an adult, Timothy's knowledge of storm cells and tornadoes saved the Newbury Prep cheerleading squad. But when it came time to buy a new car, he was just as nervous as the rest of us. So Timothy got his knowledge at Cars.com, regained his confidence, and got the perfect car at the perfect price.
Introducing the new Big Italy Pizza from Pizza Hut. Bigger than 2 medium pizzas, it's 18 slices of hand-stretched crust with up to 3 of your favorite toppings, all for just $12. And for a limited time, get a free 2-liter Pepsi Max when you buy any 2-liter Pepsi. Only at your Pizza Hut.
Thank you for calling USA Prime Credit. My name is Peggy.
You have problem?
Peggy? Okay, I've been waiting for 15 minutes for someone to pick up.
You're tenacious like bull. I like.
Please hold.
No, Peg.
So pretty.
Want better customer service? Switch to Discover, where you can talk to a real person in less than a minute. It pays to Discover.
Are you busy? Management just sent over these new technical manuals. They need you to translate them into Portuguese by tomorrow.
Ducati knows it's better for Xerox to manage their global publications, so they can focus on building amazing bikes. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Well, Matt Barkley came into Minneapolis without having thrown an interception in the first 2 Trojans games of the year. He has now thrown 2, and the second one today picked up by James Manuel. And so Minnesota with their second best starting field position of the day at their own 35-yard line.
Minnesota definitely has some momentum right now based on getting that turnover. They have to take advantage of this. It's pretty good field position for them. Let's see what they do on first down.
They have run a lot of plays up the middle, very conservative run plays. And pretty much no change there, just a couple of yards. And the SC defense has seen that play before. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines continues tonight with 2 full national coverage games at 8 Eastern, either on ABC or ESPN2. First, Mac Brown and the 6th-ranked Texas Longhorns face a tough road-tested Lubbock against Texas Tech in the Dr. Pepper Rivalry Series game. And Brian Kelly's Notre Dame Fighting Irish hit the road to face Michigan State.
SC with 9 men in the box last down. Same again, same formation, same number of men in the box for SC on defense.
I guess as this play is a loss of about 4 yards, when do you go ahead and gamble if you're Minnesota?
Well, I think you have to take a shot on a first down. I keep saying that. Again, there's 9 men in the box. It's just power, mano a mano. And they say they're going to win, and SC says we're going to win. And right now, SC's winning that battle.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 13 for Adam Weber and the Golden Gophers. Tim Brewster just wanted this game close into the 4th quarter. Got to wait a long way to go to get to that, though. Plenty of time underneath. That's going to be caught for a first down. And there is the quarterback / wide receiver, Marquise Gray. His second big play of the day.
You know, they sit in the same meetings together. They see the same plays. They are on the same wavelength. Nice job just rounding the route in there, coming in, catch the football, get down, got the key yardage. Minnesota wants to stay out of 3rd and obvious, 3rd and long passing situations, but a great conversion right there to keep the momentum going.
Down to the Trojans' 47-yard line, 1st and 10.
9 in the box again. Who'll prevail?
And the defense wins that one. Another short gain, maybe just a yard straight ahead.
As we've said, the Minnesota staff is very patient about running the football. And again, just taking this ball north and south. Again, they hope and believe that at some point they'll get a crease and get a break and bust one of those running backs loose.
That was DeLeon Eskridge, who has the touchdown for Minnesota. Picked up a yard. Eskridge again. And just on sheer strength, he picked up a couple of additional yards. So now to the 43-yard line, sets up 3rd down and 6.
That's more manageable than 3rd and long, like 9+. Again, 6 gives you a chance to throw the ball underneath or throw it to a back and let him run for the 1st down.
And Minnesota's run 28 on the ground for only 62 yards. If you're that man, Monty Kiffin, what do you call?
Well, you got to be careful. They've had some success with crossing routes in this situation, so you've got to play a man concept within the zone so you block and wall off the crossers. Or you can just come blitz.
That they've done, and Weber's in trouble, but he has a lane to escape, and he'll get the 1st down.
If the first wave of the blitz doesn't get the quarterback, there is nobody else there. They didn't have a spy. Again, heads-up play by Adam Weber, getting down the field, and this time protecting the ball, getting down before contact. You see it again there, coming up right up the middle. Go north and south, a lot like the running philosophy, but got the necessary yardage for the 1st down.
T.J. McDonald in on the stop, and here is a flag before the play even begins. This could be a substitution penalty.
It is. I think they had 12 men in the huddle.
Infraction. Number 11 entered the huddle and left the field. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That is the 1st penalty so far on the Golden Gophers. Backs them up 5, so it's 1st down and 15.
And again, I've been impressed with, again, no penalties is really the mark of a team that, one, wants to win and is committed to not making mistakes, or what we talked about, those self-inflicted wounds.
There you see the penalty total. USC came into the game the #1 most penalized team in yardage. Straight ahead. Eskridge trying to feel his way through the pile, got back the penalty yards. That'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, the one thing about SC, too, they're averaging 120 yards a game, so 58 yards of penalties is actually a significant improvement for the game.
Beautiful weather here in Minneapolis. Temperature in the mid to maybe lower 50s by now. No rain chance whatsoever. A comfortable day to play football. Eskridge again hit right away and driven back. Might have even lost a step or two. A yard if you're generous. Dejon Harris among the many tacklers that time for USC. I just wonder, is part of this philosophy here, Mike, while we're seeing so many straight ahead runs, we just think we can beat on you and wear you down?
Yeah, it is. They hope to carry that into the 4th quarter and wear down that front. The other thing is they can't run to the sideline because SC is faster as a team. The real question right now is, we blitzed on the last 3rd long. Do they anticipate blitz? It's that chess match you see between the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. Blitz or coverage?
Minnesota has made 3 of their 8 third downs. There's some confusion in the USC secondary. Minnesota tries to take advantage. What a catch! Dejon McKnight, and Minnesota is a kick away from taking the lead.
It looked as if USC thought they had too many men on the field when their DBs ran out. Still a perfectly thrown pass by Adam Weber. Couldn't have put it any better.
Few objects being thrown on the field by the fans in celebration. They better be careful. It might cost them 15 yards, but they are celebrating a perfect connection and a splendid catch by Dejon McKnight. And the Golden Gophers have the lead.
Most automobiles use only insulation to reduce noise. But we take a different approach. We use microphones to detect unwanted engine sounds, then transmit opposing frequencies to eliminate them. Literally fighting sound with sound. Active sound control, available in the Acura TSX. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
AT&T and BlackBerry have teamed up to keep your business moving. Introducing the BlackBerry Torch. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Folks, welcome to the neighborhood, where Applebee's 2 for $20 is better than ever this season. More from the sideline.
That's right, Boomer. Applebee's 2 for $20 is stuffed with more flavor, like rich and tender Florentine ravioli with chicken and provolone stuffed meatballs, plus classics like the fire-grilled 7-ounce sirloin. One appetizer, 2 entrees, $20. Back to you, Boomer.
The best deal in the neighborhood just got better, and the Swami predicts total domination.
And there you have it.
There's no place like the neighborhood. Open until midnight or later.
After battling the elements for over 130 years, our wood stains can handle just about anything. Cabot, our performance is legendary.
ESPN's College Football, brought to you by Acura. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura. And Kingsford Charcoal and the Home Depot. Get your tailgate started right with Kingsford Charcoal from the Home Depot.
In Minneapolis, there's your score and time, and now no Minnesota quarterback has ever thrown more touchdown passes than Adam Weber has. The record breaker, number 56, right here, Mike.
And you can see some confusion on the USC defense. Initially, they start off, the young man runs off like he's not supposed to be in there, leaving them with only 10 men on the field. He figures it out eventually, but the perfectly thrown pass, it wouldn't have mattered on this pass and throw and catch for the go-ahead score.
And now what looms large is the decision on the field made by Mitch Mustaine, the holder, to go for 2 when he read a play that turned out not to work. And so that's the difference in this game, 1 point, 14-13. But you do have excellent returners in Gable and Woods. Gable number 2, Woods 13. And this will be Woods. A little bit of a hole. Woods has great speed. He might be the fastest player on the USC roster, and he will go all the way.
And unfortunately, the field tilted the wrong way on special teams for Minnesota on that play.
97 yards.
I guarantee the coaches on the sideline were saying, we need a response now. We need an answer to that play.
All right, now, Mike, are you going to go for 2 or 1 here?
Yes, I'll tell you what, in the second half, again, usually a fourth quarter, you always go for 2 if necessary. You try to get to the 7-point lead. And so I expect him to go for it. It won't be the type of play, though. It'll be a real offensive play.
Yeah, and here's Matt Barkley to confirm that Lane Kiffin was giving him some instructions of what to do here. Boy, this place was going bananas. It was during the timeout. They were crazy here in Minneapolis, and now a little dart, incomplete. But how did Woods get such a huge hole?
Well, it was great blocking up front. You see, gathers in the ball here, does straight up the field, then bounces to his left. That's a setup the blocks in front of him. Hits that seam, and then it's off to the races. Fastest guy on the USC team with the ball in his hands.
A valiant effort by the kicker, but you're not going to win that one.
No, and again, one-on-one in the open field, this is exactly what a returner. If he hadn't scored, the rest of the team would have given him a bad time.
And, you know, the best news of all, there was no flags on the play to ruin it for USC.
Absolutely.
Now, what happened on the 2-point play?
Well, they put the ball in the middle field, so it's a dual field read. They're going to pick the best matchup they want. And then just, I'll tell you what, the DB did a great job of battling and outfighting the young man for the ball. That's sort of a pull-out route. They fake the throw up over the top and come back to the outside. And Collado, nice job in that way. One-on-one coverage. That's mano-a-mano.
But we had things kind of very quiet there for a part of the second quarter, early in the third, and then we've had 2 big plays, one by the Minnesota offense on the Weber touchdown connection, and then that kickoff return by Robert Woods. And you know what? Stoudemire for Minnesota, pretty capable of making a big return himself, so let's see what happens.
He's another speed merchant that they want to see the ball in his hands in the open field.
There he is. And maybe kicking away from him is the strategy, and it worked out. Stoudemire's not on the return, but Minnesota's going to get some pretty decent field position out of this anyway. That is taken by Eskridge to the 35-36 yard line. We are very happy to have with us Pat Hayden, the athletic director at USC. First off, thanks for your patience. You've been here about 10 minutes.
I didn't mind the kickoff return.
No, I didn't think so. You kind of minded the other play.
Yeah.
But, Pat, with what happened with Reggie Bush this week, giving back the Heisman, do you almost feel like, okay, now it's over, we can turn the corner?
We hope so. We hope that's behind us. I think Reggie did the right thing. I said it a month ago. I think that would have been the right thing for him to do. I think it was a noble thing for him to do, but it's behind us at USC.
How do you think Lane Kiffin has handled all of this? Because he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I think Lane's actually handled it really, really well. And, what his focus is trying to get his team ready for Minnesota the next week. Go ahead and use your play-by-play if you want here.
I guess my only question for you is, I heard there's now more compliance people on the field than celebrities. Is that true?
That is true. Yeah, we have. Dave Roberts is our head of compliance.
Dave Roberts didn't play football in college at UC
Davis. Yes. Yeah.
My teammate.
Was he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a lot of holds, I was told.
He did.
But no, he's done a great job there. And, we've got to do things better. We've got to do things right. We're going to win. We're going to win the right way in all our sports.
He's a good man. He'll do a great job for you.
Well, hang with us here just for a second, Pat, on 2nd down and 2, and that play doesn't work with Kirkwood, so it's going to be 3rd down. Let's take a look at, maybe want to avert your eyes here, Pat. We show everybody the sanctions of what USC faces. They'll be out of the next 2 bowl seasons. They had to give back wins, lost 10 scholarships per year, and again, a restriction on non-university personnel. Out of that, what's the one penalty that you go, man, that is the toughest one of the bunch?
It is, for me, clearly losing 30 scholarships. I mean, we're down. We started the season with 70. I think we brought 60 guys on scholarship here on this trip, so I think that one's going to be the most difficult to overcome.
It puts a lot of pressure on your evaluation. You can't make a mistake
and
when you
can't
have 10
get guys
less
hurt
scholarships.
either, right?
Exactly.
3rd and 2 here. Straight ahead of the fullback, and no chance. No way. USC really read that play very well. Michael Morgan was in there. And Malcolm Smith, coming up from that weak side linebacker position at Minnesota, will have to punt. Well, a lot of people thought you were slightly this side of insane to take the job. You had a nice cushy job like Mike here.
Yeah,
you could just stand up here.
You could have asked me. I'd have told you. I don't know.
No, it was very insane. Going back to my home, I met my wife there, went to school there, my kids went there, I was on the board there. I'm delighted to be back. It's going to be a real challenge, but I'm looking forward to it.
And you sure you don't want your old gig back? Because Mike says it's really cushy. All right, Pat Hayden, thank you very much. Best of luck. Pat Hayden, USC Athletic Director, joining us here. His team, thanks to a dramatic kickoff return, back in front here in Minneapolis.
Most luxury automobiles simply use oil in their suspensions. But this is what we use. A fluid that reacts instantly and precisely to an electromagnetic charge for greater control and more responsive handling. The active damper system, available in the Acura ZDX. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
Papa's in the house with Papa John's free topping football. Your choice of any 3 toppings free when you buy a large cheese pizza for just $10. Order at papajohns.com because every day is your game day. In one day. Boardwalk Empire series premiere Sunday at 9/8 Central, only on HBO.
Hi, I'm Howard Dvorkin, the founder of Consolidated Credit. For almost 2 decades, Consolidated Credit has helped millions of Americans just like you. We've helped nurses and doctors. We've helped police officers and firefighters. We've helped homemakers and home builders. We've helped over 5 million people suffering from credit card debt. And now we want to help you.
Consolidated Credit is the one company you can trust. Our exclusive Freedom Quest program can help you find options and solutions to your financial challenges. We can reduce your monthly payments by up to 50%, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, save you thousands in interest and fees, and help you get out of debt fast.
When credit card debt is the problem, we're the solution. We've helped over 5 million people. Let us help you.
You're one call away from financial freedom.
Call Consolidated Credit now. 1-800-459-4832. 1-800-459-4832.
We had one USC legend in the booth with us, Pat Hayden. There's another. And my first reaction, of course, was to go, Swanee? Just after all those years when he was on the sidelines for us.
What a great player at a lot of levels, I'll tell you what.
Boy, yeah, at the highest. USC operating from the poorest starting field position for either team. And that didn't seem to be a problem for Dylan Baxter, who stepped out of bounds and almost had a spectacular run, but instead it's a solid gain for the Trojans. Meantime, this week on Monday Night Football, the defending Super Bowl champions take the field as Drew Brees and the Saints take on Frank Gore and the San Francisco 49ers. Monday Night Football on ESPN Monday at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Well, the Niners have got to recover after Pete Carroll and the Seahawks embarrassed them last Sunday. This is Bradford straight ahead. No one's touched him yet. Nobody touched him until he had gotten about 16 yards. Ryan Collado on the stop.
I'll tell you what, that's 2 straight plays where USC has got their backs through the line of scrimmage untouched. Here again, Alan Bradford accelerating through the hole straight ahead. They pulled the lineman and the tight end in motion. The previous play got outside on the edge, doing a nice job of mixing up, attacking inside and outside.
Lane Kiffin rotating the tailbacks again. Baxter back in. A nice little stutter step to pick up. That's one of the better 3-yard gains that you will see. Tinsley on the stop.
He's a great cutback guy. We talked about him stop, start, the ability to slash and cut back and restart. And that's what they really like. They want to get him in space, too. They say he's with one of the best receiving backs that they have. So don't be surprised to see him on the downfield routes in terms of catching the ball.
And now look who's trying to tilt the field. It's USC, not Minnesota. Bradford's got a little room there, and instead of taking it outside, turned it up. It is a successful run and a first down outside the 45-yard line, a gain of 9. Well, the place where that man used to work is where we're headed, Knoxville, and here's Reese with the latest on Florida and Tennessee.
All right, guys, the Volunteers had some trouble on offense. They find Florida busting a coverage, and Matt Sims sees Denarius Moore, 49 yards. That'll tie the game at 10, but right now the Gators are inside the Tennessee 10-yard line. Alabama smashing Duke. It's 45-13.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Florida has had some struggles getting out of the gate, but they're 2-0. Bradford again, he gets right around the midfield.
One of the things SC is looking at right now, if they can get down here and get a field goal, it becomes an 8-point ball game. So minimum, they've got to score a field goal. They also are keeping the ball on the ground, which may be because their quarterback has thrown 2 interceptions his first 2 of the year previously in this game.
They're also eating up a considerable amount of clock against the team that prefers to do that. Minnesota leads the nation in time of possession, and you see what Barkley has done since a hot beginning, those 2 picks. Up to the air he goes, and I don't know about that, Mike. 2 receivers almost standing next to each other. Now Bryce Butler came away with the catch, but that didn't look right.
Yeah, I think it was because that was the backside of the route. Again, Barkley looked to the left first, and he does such a great job of coming all the way back. But by that time, both receivers had gotten in the same area. He was pretty fortunate that because there were 2 DBs there also.
So 3rd down and 2. Avili back into the fullback position to perhaps block for Bradford.
This looks like a card call, which means it's something, it could be a little bit of trickeration.
It's straight ahead. Nothing fancy about that style of football.
There was no trickeration there, but straight ahead smash mouth football.
It's interesting. It seems to me that USC has taken the Minnesota game plan and turned it onto them.
Well, and it's working for them right now. There's no question. They're moving the football, getting first downs, and taking time off the clock with the lead.
They have taken off the 3rd quarter. We have 1 quarter remaining in Minneapolis. Lane Kiffin's team has the ball and has control of the game. Can they hang on? Tim Brewster wanted to be close going in the 4th quarter with the Gophers. They are. You know what they say.
1 possession ball game.
The House House of Steinbrenner, Tuesday at 8, part of ESPN Films 30 for 30.
It's another perfect day out here today.
Can I get you anything else?
We gotta get back to work.
We even saw a kid taking a bath in a water fountain. Whoa, I spoke too soon. This just in. A freak storm is blowing into the area. We're going to be experiencing hurricane-force winds and dense fog, followed by sheets of driving rain. Stay inside, hunker down, grab a beer. This is going to be a long one.
Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be
We're
here.
receiving reports of hail the size of... Oh, boy.
I'm the fourth-string quarterback, but due to a pregame meal of all-you-can-eat calamari, now I'm the first-string quarterback. But I'm also a transfer student, so I'm a little lost. And if you've got cut rate insurance, your jacked up rates might make you sick. So get accident forgiveness from Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Most automobiles use only insulation to reduce noise. But we take a different approach. We use microphones to detect unwanted engine sounds, then transmit opposing frequencies to eliminate them. Literally fighting sound with sound. Active sound control, available in the Acura TSX. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
Credit card rewards are always good in theory.
Sometimes I would get rewards, sometimes I wouldn't.
This one card I had, there were all these rules and restrictions.
Oh, and limits.
Forget about it.
But I love this card.
Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Credit Card.
1% cash back on everything I buy, period.
No limit to the amount of cash back I can get.
No hoops to jump through.
Simple.
The refreshingly simple Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Credit Card. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Boy, I tell you, this party was something special.
Hold on, Coach. We got one more surprise for you here. Check this out.
You shouldn't have. What do you think, huh?
Happy birthday, Coach.
Where you go?
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 9 a.m. on ESPNU. Continues at 10 a.m. on ESPN.
There's your score and time. We begin the fourth quarter with Minnesota trailing and their defense on their heels just a little bit. You know, Mike Bellotti, you heard all you West Coast guys are all flash and no substance. That's substance right now. Power football by USC.
That's smart right now. Take the ball out of your quarterback's hands, put it in your tailback's hands, let them run the football behind a great offensive line that is right now giving them a chance to hit the poles full speed.
And USC has leaned on three tailbacks today. Mark Tyler, Dylan Baxter, and there you saw Alan Bradford with a carry. And you know, it's funny, Minnesota talked about we want a close game going into the fourth quarter. Well, they got it. They're trying to dominate time of possession, and all of a sudden I think that stat's headed toward USC.
Well, you're right. And right now Minnesota's telling their team, we've got to stop them, hold them out, get a sack, get them out of field goal range, but hold them minimum to a field goal to keep this a one possession ball game.
Ninth play of the drive coming up. Bradford with 75 yards and 9 carries. They go empty this time, and in and out of the hands of tight end Jordan Cameron.
You hear a lot of line calls. They were adjusting the protections of line of scrimmage. They brought an extra guy, came off. Great job by Matt Barkley, holding the ball just to count, putting the ball right on the money. You can see a guy coming clean off the edge, gets rid of the ball. Unfortunately, did not get caught. Great play by the quarterback. Just not a lot of help on the other side.
Wilhite with a big hit on Barkley. Pitch out to Tyler behind Havili. Great blocking by USC, and Tyler stepped out of bounds at the 21-yard line. It is a first down.
Same play they ran earlier into the short side of the field. They brought the tight end off the ball all the way across. So they created, here you see Havili. Also, they've got the tight end and a running back, excuse me, a big offensive lineman. He just shields and allows the running back to get down the side. Huge conversion on that first down right there.
You know what we just saw there? Student body right.
Yes, yes, the new version.
Barkley with a shoulder fake to the end zone and into the sun. The catch is made. Touchdown, Osbury.
That's their big receiver, the big X, which is where he wants to throw the ball. He loves to put the ball up in the air, put it on the outside shoulder away from the DB. And again, you can see this right here. Got a pump fake. It's a little what they call a sluggo. Slant and go. He's out there over the top. Ball's put it through the outside shoulder. Perfect. Taps the feet down. Nice execution.
That's Osbury's second touchdown of the season and his first catch of the day. And they'll go conventional for the PAT with Joe Houston.
And I wonder if Coach Kiffin said, don't kick this whatever happens.
That was an 11-play, 88-yard drive in 4 minutes and 51 seconds. And USC has the largest lead of the day, a dozen.
The 100% electric Nissan Leaf. Innovation for the planet. Innovation for all.
The new spicy chicken sandwich, now at Chick-fil-A.
What's that saying? Shut your eyes.
High Life Light here. Get your High Life Light.
Are they really trying to serve the High Life Light here? This is the home of hoops and hockey. This is sacred ground.
Trampled upon by a canine beauty contest.
It's making me queasy.
High Life Light here. Get your High Life Light.
Should I handle it? Handle it.
Handled.
Is that a portrait of the dog?
You're watching ESPN, new home of the Bowl Championship Series.
So Minnesota been knocked back on their heels, and their coaches talked about how USC likes to come to town with swagger, and there they are celebrating that touchdown that has put them ahead by a dozen.
That's the same bouncing they did to remind everybody it was the fourth quarter. They had every single player on the travel squad up and bouncing around. I think, again, that's to remind themselves who they are.
Are you okay with that as a coach?
I am. I love to see players do that, because sometimes that's just, they do it. It's spontaneous. You don't have to coach it. They do it on their own.
So Troy Stoudemire, maybe he can make the big play for Minnesota in the kicking game, as Woods did for USC when he busted 197 yards, and instead it's going to be a touchback. To the 20-yard line we go, and also let's go have a visit with Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, checking in now on Oklahoma and Air Force. Tied at 10, Landry Jones finding Ryan Broyles. Broyles has had a 100-yard receiving day. He's averaging 133 per game in his first couple of games. That set up DeMarco Murray, who's just having a sensational season. He's now approaching the 100-yard mark. It's a 10-point lead. Nebraska is blowing out Washington on the road. The Huskers have been impressive.
Thank you, Reese. Air Force, a fun team to watch, by the way. They're a bit banged up, but they're going to give Oklahoma everything they have. Now, Adam Weber's only had 10 passes in a year. Number 11 successful. That's caught by Gray, and that will be a first down around the 39-yard line.
Great job, great execution, great play call on first down. Again, a play action pass from the same set where they got 9 men in the box. He had choice of 2 wide open receivers. Kudos to the Minnesota staff in terms of opening this thing up. Of course, now it's a 2-possession ball game, so they have to.
Well, they run right back up the middle, a play we have seen what seems like 24 times today. Straight ahead went Bennett, and for a very, very short gain. Let's take a look at our Saturday menu presented by Applebee's. And we heard Reese mention that Nebraska is dominating Washington, but then you know what? The Iowa-Arizona game is the only matchup of ranked teams this week. How do you see that one?
You know what? I think it's smash-mouth football by Iowa and speed and throwing the football by Arizona. And again, I think it's a 1-point differential. I like Arizona because of their speed. They have something to prove after that Nebraska debacle in the bowl game.
Well, that's classic Big Ten smash-mouth, Pac-10 speed matchup later on tonight. It'll be fun to watch. Weber, boy, he barely got that off in time, and a tremendous open field tackle on the tight end Lair by Jawanza Starling, who has an interception already today, and he gave Lair no room to run.
You see the speed of that USC secondary in space, how quickly they can close on the receiver. Again, pressure on the quarterback, ball has to come out quickly, uncovered guy right there, and then boom, don't even get a chance to get my feet underneath me. I'm already hit and dragged down.
And Lair's a big target, almost 240 pounds, and Starling is under 200, but he hung tough. Pressure from the edge again, and that was in the direction of Lane Kiffin. Trying to get it to McKnight, who has the touchdown catch today, but not a series that Tim Brewster is going to be happy with, and his team's going to have to give the ball back with about 11.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, there was some confusion on that. I think he changed the play, and then I think the receiver on the outside wasn't sure either, couldn't hear it or didn't see the signal. You know, one thing's about that Arizona-Iowa game, Iowa has maybe one of the best defensive lines in college football this year, and that could present problems to the Arizona passing offense.
We saw one kick return on a kickoff for a touchdown. You know, Ronald Johnson busted one already this year, but he's going to let this one go. And a great bounce for Areski, the punter. That ball will die at the 9-yard line, so that'll be the worst field position after the 49-yard punt. USC in control.
From an early age, Timothy Richmond understood that with knowledge comes confidence. In junior high, while abroad, he explained how jellyfish stings can be neutralized with vinegar in perfect Italian. As an adult, Timothy's knowledge of storm cells and tornadoes saved the Newberry Prep cheerleading squad. But when it came time to buy a new car, he was just as nervous as the rest of us. So Timothy got his knowledge at Cars.com, regained his confidence, and got the perfect car at the perfect price.
The Birkenfield QR76 binoculars, perfect for those who didn't buy their tickets on StubHub. For 10 years, StubHub has been the place to find great tickets to sports, concerts, and more. StubHub, where do you want to sit?
5 for 3. Quiznos 5 for 3 value menu. Grab a large sub for only $5. A toasty torpedo for only $4. Or a toasty bullet for only $3.
Toasty.
If you had a choice between going bald and a fuller head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss. You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure, but the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven permanent hair loss solution, call the toll-free number below to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair, so don't put it off any longer. The phone call is free. The information is free. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-499-3685. That's 1-800-499-3685.
ESPN's College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Take a look at the University of Minnesota campus, and there was talk about how Minnesota needs to tilt the field in their favor, and I don't know, Coach, at the time of possession's almost equal, and the average start is equal.
No, it is, and so really the explosion plays, the big play to Ronald Johnson, the kick return are two of the difference makers in the game.
It'll be Bradford. Avili had a block that did not work that time, and Brandon Kirksey will dump Bradford for a loss of 2.
And Bradford is not a cutback guy. He's a head downhill, full head of steam, 203. He's a power back. So again, if you get him stopped in the backfield, you've got a chance for victory simply because he's not going to start as quickly as the other backs they have.
This is a pretty big position. If they can force the Golden Gophers to 3 and out, get bad field position for USC, and there's a shot here for them to make a dent in this 12-point lead.
Absolutely. They need a stop here to get great field position, as you said.
And that's a beautiful catch. Well, that wasn't easy for Robert Woods in traffic. He was dumped by Gary Tinsley, the middle linebacker, but a gain of 9 sets up a big 3rd down.
And that was a tight window. I'll tell you what, they ran a little stop route underneath, cleared with the receiver over the top. See the play fake, and again, this ball thrown right between 2 defenders. Dangerous down there in your own red zone.
Yeah, the free safety is Barrett also there to help on the hit. 3rd and 3. USC batting .500 on 3rd down conversions. That might have been, yeah, it is the face mask. No question. You could see it. Even the fans here who are rooting for the Gophers could tell that Juwan Edwards got the face mask.
And that's unfortunate because they had a sack on the play. They were going to get the football back. And again,
personal foul, face mask. Offense, number 60. Correction, defense, number 60. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, he means 68, not 60, but those uniforms get a little bit pinched. And how ironic is this? The team that's had the penalty problems gets one in their favor, and it's a big one.
Well, you're trying to make a play, and again, the quarterback ducks, and then you're just grabbing anything you can. You're trying to grab cloth. You don't want to, and again, they changed the rule. You have to actually yank on that face mask. You can't just touch it, but that was a yank. That turned the whole body corkscrewed into the ground.
So the ball is marked just outside the 30-yard line.
Those are the kind that hurt you because defensive coaches, that they would have been off the field. You know you're going to get the ball back, and all of a sudden you've extended the drive.
No, this place would have gone nuts if Barkley had actually been sacked. And now back to pounding the rock with Baxter. And he gets outside the 35, the 36. We go to Reese Davis.
Dave, SportsCenter right now brought to you by Discover Rewards. Florida and Tennessee. See John Brantley finding Frankie Hammond for the touchdown. Gators have added one to make it 24-10. Tennessee backed up in its own end, down by 2 touchdowns.
Right here in Minneapolis, there's our score and time at the bottom of your screen. Dylan Baxter remains the tailback for USC. Straight ahead, little hole opens up, and he'll get the 1st down to the 44-yard line. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines continues tonight with 2 full national coverage games at 8 Eastern, either on ABC or ESPN2. First, Mac Brown and the 6th-ranked Texas Longhorns face a tough road test in Lubbock against Texas Tech in the Dr. Pepper Rivalry Series game. And then Brian Kelly's Notre Dame Fighting Irish, off a tough loss to Michigan, hit the road to face Sparty, Michigan State. How do you see that Texas Tech game, Mike?
I think Texas will take care of business. I think, again, they learned they've got a little bit something to pay back going to Lubbock.
And again now, SC's offensive line doing the job. Alan Bradford will not be caught. Touchdown, Trojans.
That's a way to run out the clock, run downhill, and put more points on the board.
And empty the stadium, too.
Again,
except for that group right there. They'll stay.
That's exactly true. SC very content now. Again, they were content to just run the football. You saw them again move that football down the field. They got the great break on the penalty on 3rd down. And again, but that's Alan Bradford at his best. Downhill run, acceleration, and nobody in front of him.
How about 179 total yards on the 2 drives combined? They started at the 12 on one and scored. They start at the 9 on this one and hammer it home. Bradford now with 129 yards in 11 carries. And going for 2 with Barkley. The handoff, lowered the shoulder and did not get in. Mark Tyler just tried it the old-fashioned way, and it did not work. But how about the blocking for Alan Bradford? Did anybody in maroon and gold touch him?
I don't think so. I think that was truly off to the races.
At Pizza Hut, everyone loved our $10 any pizza deal, so we've made even bigger changes. We've lowered the price of every pizza on our menu. Now, a large pizza with up to 3 of your favorite toppings is just $10, or any medium specialty pizza is just $10 too. Only at your Pizza Hut.
Would you like her to rephrase the question?
I'm not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Bien expected. Bleu de Chanel.
At Chanel.com.
So you'll have my daughter home by 11?
Probably. Sometimes probably doesn't cut it. That's why Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Sign up at Valvoline.com.
The financial headlines can be unsettling. But what if there were a different story of one financial company that grew stronger through the crisis? When some lost their way, this company led the way by protecting clients and turning uncertainty into confidence. What if that story were true? It is.
Wouldn't it be cool if cars didn't need keys? If you could talk to them with this? If you turbocharged this little guy? If old water bottles became new seats? If you never bought another gallon of gas? Or what if cars had force fields? That would be cool. Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all.
The show made by the nation is packing its bags for a Big Ten road trip. Oh yes, Sports Nation taking its characters and costumes and going to hang out with some of college football's most passionate fans. 4 days in Big Ten country, Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. on ESPN2. And mark my words, the nation will never be the same.
Can you imagine Beadle and Coward and Madison, Iowa City, Ann Arbor, and Happy Valley in what, about a 96-hour period? Oh, alert the authorities.
On you, baby. We'll prepare them for you.
I've been to all those places. Incredible college towns. Passionate is right about their teams. That will be fun. At one point, by the way, Minnesota led this game 14-13 in the second half. But USC has hit some big plays on offense and special teams, and there's another one right there, a huge hit at the 20-yard line. Let's go to Reese.
Davis, I'm sure you know, every week we honor the AT&T All-America Player of the Week, and certainly Ryan Mallett's a big-time candidate from Arkansas. He was 21 of 33, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the gamer in the waning seconds against Georgia. Text the word VOTE to 345-345 on your mobile phone and enter for a chance to win a trip to the national championship game.
And as the Heisman race starts to get its foundation, I think part of that foundation may well include Ryan Mallett. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. Weber off the mark on that one today. Now we've got a Pac-10, Big Ten. This, of course, is always going to be that natural rivalry to all college football fans because of the old ways of the Rose Bowl. But there's Pat Hayden, who's cold but happy. And here's what the Pac-10 has done to the Big Ten since 2003.
And a lot of people would say that's because of the speed advantage that the Pac-10 has. There's a perception that they are faster and more wide open offenses in the Pac-10.
Well, it's going to be, unless Minnesota can do something dramatic, another win for the Pac-10 here. Weber goes underneath this time. That's McKnight, and he'll have a 1st down, so some hope still alive for the Gophers. Get out to the 34-yard line, about 13-yard pickup. Michael Morgan, a Sam linebacker on the stop for the Trojans.
Well, 3-possession ball game. Minnesota now, you've noticed they've been in the shotgun. They're going no huddle. They've got to throw the ball. They got to get some breaks and get some big plays. A couple of quick scores to stay in this game.
And Weber just taking underneath, and that is just dropped by Stoudemire. Would not have been a very big gain anyway, maybe 5 yards. So it stops the clock with exactly 8 minutes left in our game. Let's go back and take a look at our Saturday menu presented by Applebee's. So there's that Iowa, Arizona. You see Wisconsin having a struggle with Arizona State in Madison. Of course, that's a good Arizona State team. It shouldn't make that sound like all that surprised. And yet to come tonight, Wake Forest and Stanford.
Arizona State, Stephen Threatt, the transfer, is throwing the football all over the place. And I don't know, again, that's a classic matchup of the power running game versus throwing the football and spreading it out.
That's a good-looking throw that time, but not a 1st down by Bryant Allen, who also plays for Chubby Smith on Minnesota's outstanding basketball team. Instead of turning it up, though, he turned it sideways. And Coach Bellotti couldn't be too happy with that.
No, you got to get up and split defenders. If you can't get out of bounds, the first thought is 1st down. The second thought is out of bounds.
So here's the 3rd down. Minnesota trying to move quickly, and that pass well defended. Not much of a chance at all for Eric Lair, as Chris Gallipo was all over him. So it's 4th down and 5. And looks like Dan Oreski and the Minnesota punt team will come on out with 7.5 to go.
And I don't know that that'll be met by a lot of acclaim from the fans. I'm sure they want everybody to go for it on 4th and 6 or 7. And I think you have to if you want to win the football game. But at this point, difficult to say.
You know, I got to be honest with you, Mike. The silence from this crowd tells me the volumes that I need to know. They're not booing. They're leaving. And drop, fair catch, but picked back up for SC by Johnson. Hey, college football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels continues tonight on ESPN with a couple of games featuring 4 unbeaten teams. First at 7 Eastern, Brent Musburger, Kirk Herbstreit, and Aaron Andrews will have the call as Clemson faces the 16th ranked Auburn Tigers. Then at 10:30 Eastern, Ricky Stanzi leads number 9 Iowa, number 24 Arizona, one of those Big Ten Pac-10s. Both games available online, and if you're traveling, bring your phone. You can get it on your phone.
USC doing a great job running the football today, averaging over 6 yards a carry, regardless of who the back is. They may be back to tailback by committee.
Well, actually, they are now. Here's number 4 for the day, C.J. Gable, the senior. And Gable finding a little room, gets to the outside, and running with some passion and purpose, gets very close to the marker. You know, the competition was very interesting for the tailback position. And with Tyler, Baxter, Bradford, and Gable was like the number 1 guy last year.
Yeah, and I think they feel like Tyler is healthy now for the first time in his career, and he's the most complete back in terms of understanding the protections, being able to run with a combination of power and moves. Dylan Baxter is a star in waiting or in the wings, I guess the best way to put it. And then Bradford's a power back, but Gable could do a lot of things.
And what has happened with Gable is he is obviously, I'm sure he would love to be the full-time tailback, but he's a demon on special teams. He's made several big hits already in just the 3 games, coming down, covering punts, covering kickoffs.
And he's also their returner, the punt returner and a kickoff returner. So he's going to get his touches, but certainly you're right. Tailbacks want the ball and want to be on the field.
Of course, this is no longer the days of having 10 tailbacks around in the Pete days as SC did a while back. Not going to be able to do that with the scholarship restrictions. Right now it's Baxter in there, and that's the freshman from San Diego. And a couple of moves there, but Minnesota's defense all over him. Going to be a loss of a yard there. Now, what do you think of Matt Barkley's performance today, Mike?
Well, again, he threw 2 interceptions, his first 2 on the year, but 17 out of 24 for almost 200 yards and 2 TDs. A pretty good day, especially on the road. The Minnesota group really tried to take some things away and change up a look, close the middle. He still took advantage of it, finding Ronald Johnson. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the Pac-10, and certainly by the time he's finished will be one of the best in the nation.
But it is a very rich year for quarterbacks in the Pac-10 as well.
No question, and some teams are throwing the ball all over the park. Arizona, Arizona State, they're throwing it a lot.
Gonna have to hurry on this one, and he got it off. And Minnesota trying to tackle the football as much as they are the man, and there's a flag down. Juwan Edwards with the stop.
And you will probably see the SC tailbacks.
Chop block, number 68 offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Butch Lewis, a senior from Denver, guilty of that infraction.
Yeah, and you don't want that. That's the kind of thing that hurts other players. But it hurts your team, too. You're trying to run out the clock. I was going to make the point that the tailbacks, man, so you'll probably see him not going out of bounds now. At this point, they're trying to keep the ball in bounds, keep that clock running. But a big 15-yard penalty like this, it'll be interesting to see if they will now throw the ball, try to get back some of that yardage.
Well, it's 2nd down and 26. You saw Gable.
I think they just call that 2nd and long.
Yes. Very. Baxter back in there. Well, that's going to be incomplete. All right, now we asked you to do a little homework, Mike, and your assignment was to rank the quarterbacks in the Pac-10.
Aha, I knew this was coming. I'll tell you what, I like Nick Foles best, and I did, and followed by Stephen Threet, Andrew Luck, Matt Barkley, Jake Locker, Kevin Wright. That's based on pass efficiency, passing offense, and total offense individually, and then also the team stats of total offense, scoring offense, and passing offense for their teams. Quarterbacks are leaders, but the things they do, throwing the football, I like Nick Foles.
So send your emails to, oh, I'm sorry. I won't give that out, Mike. That'll be your secret. 3rd and 26. And Barkley changing up the play. Well, there's your answer. He's going to take a deep shot and throw behind Woods, who was very well covered. So USC will bring out the punt team and Jacob Harfman.
You know, having said that was based on 2 games, and I think it's tough to evaluate anything. Basically, that's probably what preseason expectations going into the year, and then a little bit. But really, until they get into league play or really play equal competition, I think some of those stats are a little bit inflated because they played lesser teams in their early non-conference schedule.
USC on their way to 3-0. Opened up, of course, at Hawaii and then played at home against Virginia. This punt is ripped by Harfman. And Stoudemire makes the fair catch at the 35-yard line. And Minnesota's 1-1, and the 1 in the loss column was a surprise to a lot of people. A week ago, South Dakota quarterback Dante Warren went wild on this field, passed for 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a 61-yarder. And if that wasn't enough, he ran for 3 touchdowns, including a 25-yard touchdown in the 4th quarter. And FCS South Dakota beat their neighbors in Minnesota 41-38. Pass underneath over the umpire's head, short of the 1st down, caught by Eskridge.
And again, Minnesota in the hurry-up mode now. That loss to South Dakota was devastating. They did recover, I think, to make this game for 3 quarters very interesting. But SC's talent and speed, I think, again, started to show in the 4th quarter.
Pressure there and wide open and just underthrown slightly. He had an opportunity to hit McKnight in front of the USC sideline that would have put the ball in the Trojan territory. So it may not be as big a shock this year when an FCS team beats an FBS team. You see what's happened so far. Is it the James Madison one that is the biggest surprise, you think?
Yeah, you know, they're not a surprise as much as people think anymore. I tell you, there's parity. We've talked about that with the limitation of the scholarships. I think the spread offense and the evolution of that, of playing basketball on grass, spreading the field, having a mobile quarterback, makes anybody. There are tough matchups out there across the board.
You had Michigan, who really struggled today, giving up 37 points in a victory over UMass. That's a first down for Minnesota. All right, what do you take out of this if you're a USC follower or a fan? They're going to be 3-0. They go to Washington State to open up a long run of Pac-10 play. Are they a threat to win the Pac-10?
They are a threat to win the Pac-10. This is a solid win on the road for a team that's looking for an identity, wanting to avoid any of the distraction factor. And I think they've done a good job of that. I think Lane Kiffin and his staff have had these young men focus on what they control. Now, they've got to do a better job of penalties, but they have a schedule that should make them 5-0. Be a factor in the Pac-10 race.
You see Chris Gallipo celebrating his sack. That is a significant loss of 11 yards. Adam Weber just had no chance. Monty Kiffin dug into the blitz bag and came up with one that time. USC in control, about to take a happy flight back to Southern California.
At Cheez-It, we expect a lot from our cheese.
What do you call a cheese that isn't yours?
I don't know.
Nacho cheese. See, because it's not your cheese, but I said nacho. La 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 la, can't hear you. La 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 la, can't hear you. La 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 la, can't hear you. That's when I decided to fully invest in my 401k.
We take the time for our cheese to mature before we bake it into every delicious cracker. Because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters.
Get what you crave. Doritos Late Night Cheeseburger.
At one point, the Golden Gophers had a 14-13 lead in the third quarter, but some big plays. A long Matt Barkley pass to Robert Woods. Woods with a kickoff, excuse me, Ronald Johnson. Woods with a kickoff return for a touchdown. The USA defense is clamped. You see Alan Bradford, he busted one today. He's had a huge day for USC. His was the last of the big touchdown burst for the Trojans, and they're in command here. Minnesota had called a timeout. They have 2 left. And that's going to be intercepted. And here's Gallipo again. He's played a tremendous fourth quarter, and he gets his first pick, a junior from Corona, California, and the Trojans get the ball back.
Chris Gallipo, starter last year, got beat out this season and forgot to play. They forgot to get him in the game last game, and he was a little bit upset about that, but I think he's done a great job of maybe making a case for himself today. Great tackle, great interception of a tip ball, being in the right place at the right time.
So that should cap things off for the Trojans here. And, you know, for Weber, he came in with no interceptions, and today he has thrown 3 as Mitch Mustaine takes over at quarterback. Matt Barkley's day is finished.
And you will probably see everybody on the roster get a chance to play now, which is the way it should be in this type of a game.
Yeah, Gable gets a carry for a short gain. Now let's reverse this around. I asked you about how USC should feel. How does Minnesota feel as they get ready to take on Northern Illinois, but they open in the Big Ten in 2 weeks at home against Northwestern?
Well, devastating loss to a team they shouldn't have lost to in South Dakota. Difficult loss today in a team that they took and were leading in the second half. I think they've got to take some positives from this game. They had a couple of mistakes, interception, a penalty down here that took SC, gave them new life, which they eventually scored on that drive. So I think Minnesota's they're a work in progress. They have to improve defensively, and part of their philosophy is to try to protect that defense. They want to run the football, to not have the defense on the field as much. They've got to get more strike power, though, offensively. Marquise Gray, again, he can take the ball And I'm just saying he's got to be more involved.
Then you look at what is ahead for the Golden Gophers after the non-conference tilt at home. Northwestern, and then they go on the road. Wisconsin, that's never going to be easy. You'll see the Ohio State game on our family of networks on October the 30th, night before Halloween. So once we get to the fall colors, it's all Big Ten for Minnesota.
That's a tough schedule down the road. They got to take some wins early while they can. Those other games, they're going to earn them on the road.
And that is very close to the first down for Gable.
You know, I think it disappointed Minnesota today, too, in the fact that their kicking game unfortunately let them down to a degree. They were back in the game, had the lead, then gave up the long kickoff return. That may have been the biggest play of the game because it sucked the momentum right back away from Minnesota.
Minnesota just hit a touchdown. They had taken the lead on a PAT, which has been a problem for USA today because they've gone for two several times and had a 14-13 edge. And then Robert Woods went 97 yards with a kickoff, and USC has not looked back since. And we'll get a measurement here to confirm first down or not. USC has run for 203 yards today. So it's going to be fourth down. And Lane Kiffin will go for it, it looks like, with Mustaine.
You know, at this point, you might as well go for it simply because you're going to run the clock either way. Punting down here, if you hit in the end zone by some chance, you're only going to gain about 14 or 15 yards.
Yeah, and it's a very short distance, and if you get it, this game's over. And I'd say Mustaine got it. He did. Picked up a yard to the 33. And the USC Song Girls even made the trip. In fact, I would say this, there are still more compliance people on the staff than there were Song Girls who made this trip anyway.
You're right. We saw them warming up. I think there were only 4 Song Girls. I think that we counted 7 compliance people on staff now.
But that is a college football tradition like few others. The USC Song Girls making the trip to Minneapolis.
You know, one of the things SC talked about going in, they wanted more explosive runs, and I think they got them today via Alan Bradford.
Little pitch out here, and there's Bradford. And one of the few times that Minnesota's been able to completely bottle him up. And did he put the ball down? Minnesota says he did, but an official coming in there looks like he's going to blow the play dead. And that near fumble will get Bradford a spot on the bench. Now they do rule it a Minnesota football. They do rule it a recovery. Took them a little bit of time to decide what they wanted to do. Let's take a look.
Misdirection play, and again out in space. Let's watch right here. Yeah, ball was torn out before he got down. Minnesota player actually took the ball out of his hands.
James Manuel came away with the ball, so we're equal in turnovers, and that's going to bother Bradford, I'm sure, on the way home.
James Manuel, freshman playmaker. I always ask, who are the playmakers on defense? Because people don't talk about that. James Manuel very much turning out to be one of those kind of guys. Got an interception today, stole that fumble right there, stole that ball out of his hands. That'll pay dividends in the future for his confidence.
USC for the purpose of challenging the ruling on the field. The ruling on the field was that the ball was fumbled and recovered by Minnesota.
And Lane Kiffin coaching this one right down to the end. Let's see if he wasted that timeout.
Hard to tell from that angle. I don't know if we have an end zone view that would show us. There we go. I think the ball's out. I don't think his knee touched. I think the ball was out. I think it's a good call.
How about Manuel helping on the tackle and coming away with the football?
Confirmed. First down, Minnesota.
That was very quick. That's about as fast as you can have a replay review.
You know, when you say coaching the game all the way out, I think that's the way to do it. I think this is a young staff, a new staff, and they've got to practice some of these things themselves. This is a game that they're going to win this football game no matter what they do, but they can practice for a game that might count down the road.
Yeah, you only have one assistant coach who was on Pete Carroll's staff last year on this staff for Lane Kiffin. So you're right. This is a different group learning to work together. That was Lair, who took a big hit from Marshall Jones.
And Lane Kiffin talking about use your head, don't hit late if you can help it. I didn't think that was a late hit. I think it was reacting to the ball had it been caught.
Now that 7 for 71 for USC would be their best performance of the season penalties, which will hearten Lane Kiffin, I'm sure. It's probably still too many for his taste, but it's better.
It's a significant improvement. You take 50 yards off of penalties, that's quite an improvement.
And that'll bring up 3rd down and about 5. Stoudemire on the catch. One thing I just have not seen is Minnesota throw the ball deep that often today.
Well, the SC is playing way off right now, playing deep, making them throw underneath and just tackle them inbounds. That coaches are saying, stay off, don't get beat deep, and tackle them inbounds.
Now, that's the first catch for Stoudemire today. And that'll be a 1st down into USC territory as Stoudemire now has 2 catches. Gain of 17, under a minute.
This isn't really a prevent defense, but it's pretty close. Again, you can see the 2 safeties deep, and then they're usually dropping either one of the linebackers. See him right down the middle of the field, 54, playing what they call Tampa 2, which is really a 3 deep coverage. The safeties expand to the sideline, and the inside linebacker runs down the field to become a middle safety.
And of course, the Tampa 2 defense is the brainchild of Monty Kiffin.
Absolutely. One of the things that made him very, very famous as a coach. And he's got the athletes at USC to run this type of style of defense.
So Lane Kiffin, who interviewed for the Minnesota head coaching job in 2007. Tim Brewster got it, and we know what Lane Kiffin's path has been like since then. Could look a little happier, though, Mike, couldn't he?
Well, you know, no, until the game's over, I'll tell you what, it's still, he's coaching the game.
Offense, number 85, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
You know what? The 2 words he talked about were focus and discipline. So if he stays focused as the coach, that helps the kids on the sideline stay focused, again, because they're going to need it at some point down the road in a tighter game.
Well, they had one of those last week. Virginia gave him major headaches. Mike London's team may not be as bad as some people think they were going to be at the start of the season. They really fought USC bitterly to the end.
They had a chance to win that game, and again, they put pressure on SC.
Here's a little bit of a shot down the field. Laird took a hit, hung on to the ball, and that'll be a 1st down for the Golden Gophers. 20 yards there. So Minnesota picking up some 1st downs and some numbers that will make the stat package look a little nicer, but the final score is all that's going to matter.
No, but I like Eric Laird. I'll tell you what, I think they need to get him more involved in the offense because he's a big receiver with range down the middle.
Minnesota takes a timeout. They have 1 remaining.
And again, one of the things you're trying to do now too is put some confidence in your team, whether it's whoever you throw the ball, get down, get a score on the board, get some positive momentum. Even though you lost this football game, let's take something positive away from it for next week.
And don't forget, coming up next year on ESPN, it's the ESPN College Football Scoreboard presented by Acura with Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz. Conference play will begin for USC next week. They're on the road again. It'll be their 3rd road game of their first 4. They'll go to Washington State. And Minnesota opens a 4-game homestand with back-to-back losses. One you could kind of understand, and one that's a big shocker, of course, last week to South Dakota. Receiver went inside, pass went outside, so it's 2nd down.
The other thing you get to work on, they talked about wanting to improve their drop back passing game. You're also looking at your protections, your route running, who the receivers are that are going to become big play guys. And this is great practice against a very good football team in USC with excellent athletes.
The big question is, in the next year or 2, how will they survive with that loss of scholarships when Lane Kiffin can only go out and sign 10 people?
Well, you're right. We talked about that before. You have to make every evaluation count. You can't have a mistake. When you're down 10 scholarships per year, each one of the people that you sign have to be the kind of player you think they are and have to be ready to contribute early.
Number 53 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
But this can be done. This reminds me a little bit of what the University of Miami went through in the mid-90s. They lost a lot of scholarships. They didn't go to bowl games. They penalized themselves. They took a hard hit. They paid for it in the first couple of years of Butch Davis's tenure, but by the time he left, he had built a team that was ready to win a national championship, which it did for Larry Coker.
You have to manage it. This year's not the problem. It's the next 2 years that are really the problem. Again, because you're going to face those things. You've lost some kids already. Hopefully there's no more defections. But the other thing is injuries. So you may have to change a little bit the way you practice too, because you won't have as many healthy bodies.
Well, Lane Kiffin had cut down the contact and reps in the fall camp this year, or summer camp in August, and it was a nice catch there by Eskridge. But he'll be very close, but it looks like maybe a touch short on the first down.
I think they gave him the first down.
Yes, they did.
Minnesota.
And Minnesota uses another timeout. They're out of them. So they're going for the feel-good score here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, you've got to take something away positive. You got to do something. They're going to talk about we moved the ball down the field and hopefully scored against USC on our last possession. And that gives that'll give some of the players some confidence going forward that they can do this against an SC team that, is undefeated and ranked in the top 20 in the nation.
Yeah, the 18th in the AP poll. They're not going to be in the coaches poll all season long. The folks there decided not to make USC season count. It's always possible, and I've heard Matt Barkley talk about this. I don't know how likely it is, but what if USC goes undefeated, and does the AP give them a mythical national title?
That's a great question. I don't think that will happen, and I don't think they would give them the national title if they went undefeated.
Yeah, there are a few teams in the Pac-10 on USC's schedule that won't be easy wins, to say the least. Going for the end zone, trying to get that feel-good score, and they do. Marquise Gray. It's so funny. I think last week Virginia scored with 4 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
So if you're a defensive coach, how mad are you right now?
Well, I was just going to say, that's the other thing. USC is practicing their 2-minute defense. They've got to look at kids across the board because this is their team right now. They traveled 58 scholarship or 60 scholarship players. They only have 72 or 73 on the roster. So, again, they've got to get better at this. Hawaii threw the ball all over the park against them. They got much better last week against Virginia, although they gave up a touchdown very similar at the end of the game. So the coach is saying, keep them out, keep them out. And they'll go back to the film room. That'll give them a lot to look at the end of the game.
So Marquise Gray now 4 catches, 98 yards, and his second touchdown on the season.
We talked about Marquise, too, being the X factor. He's a big receiver, inside guy. He's 6'4", 230 with range. Here he's got the speed. And, again, nice job catching the ball. They've got to get him more involved with this offense.
So we mentioned that USC will be on the road in Pullman next weekend. And then they'll open their Pac-10 slate in L.A. with Washington October the 2nd. Washington having a very difficult day at home with Nebraska. That Stanford game, I mean, what Stanford did to them last year was unbelievable, and it gets pretty rough for them in October.
It does, and they still got to go to Oregon State, which has been their nemesis there in Corvallis. And again, you're right, the Stanford game, that'll be interesting to watch the emotion of that game, simply because of what happened the past couple of years, really.
And that game in Arizona, November the 13th, isn't going to be. Actually, once you turn the corner and get into the Pac-10, it's clearly one of the stronger conferences this year, and there's Notre Dame to deal with.
Yeah, and Notre Dame is improving and will be improved by that point because they have a new coaching staff, new system. They're going to get better if they can keep Dane Christ healthy.
Yeah, that game will be in the Coliseum. Lane Kiffin making sure, by the way, he's coaching right to the end, counting that he's got the correct number of people out there and anticipating an onside kick. And it just went out of bounds.
I love onside kicks because it is truly a scramble. It is, you just hold your breath, your heart in your hand, because you never know where that ball is going to bounce.
Nope, especially on this kind of turf. This is the ground-up tire turf that's very popular, the field turf, and that second and third bounce can be very, very interesting.
Minnesota had 2 opportunities there to get that football, and again, just couldn't quite grasp it.
So Mitch Mustaine will probably take a knee, and USC will pack up the trunks and the song girls and the band and head back to L.A.
With an undefeated season so far.
3-0. Lane Kiffin's 10th win as a college football coach. And they won't take a knee. They'll give it to Gable, and he'll pop a little hole there and pop a defender as well. And he is ridden down by Gary Tinsley after a 10-yard pickup. So Matt Barkley, a couple of big touchdown passes today. USC got a huge kick return from Robert Woods that turned this game around. And Lane Kiffin, not a smile, but a win as he shakes the hand of Tim Brewster and walks away undefeated in the first 3 games of the season. Our final score, USC 32, Minnesota 21. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Mike Bellotti and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Goodbye from Minneapolis now. Back to the studio and Reese Davis.
This is the SEC cauldron in which the ACC's Clemson Tigers will walk tonight. Auburn awaiting. Cameron Newton, the superstar quarterback, has been warmly received, and he has everybody all in for the Tigers' chances this year. Gene Chizik leading his team in, hoping to push them to 3-0. But Dabo Swinney leads in Clemson, hoping to pull the upset tonight.
Welcome to College Football Scoreboard, presented by Acura.
Arizona State and Wisconsin, a complete barn burner in Camp Randall. This is Big John Clay on 3rd and 1, Mayday.
Terrific blocking on the counter action. John Clay does exactly what he's supposed to do. Follow your tackle through the hole, and he takes it in for the score.
Just as coach expected, Arizona State hangs tough. Cameron Marshall, the touchdown. Now all they need is the extra point to tie. Now, the only reason we would show this is if deflected block, Jay Valai, the strong defensive back for Wisconsin coming through. They made 2 plays on special teams that saved this game. The blocked extra point, and the last play of the first half, they ran down a kick return on the 1-yard line as time expired, and Wisconsin escapes by 1. Glad to have you with us. Say hello to the Hall of Famers, Lou Holtz and Mark May here. Let's run through this before we take you to Auburn and get things cranked up. Plenty of highlights ahead. The #1 team in the nation, Alabama, on the road at Duke. The Heisman Trophy winner making his debut. Mark, how does his knee look, Mark Ingram?
Oh, I think it looks okay. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks good. I think it looks awesome. Mark Ingram takes it down the sidelines, 48 yards on his first carry of the day.
First carry of the season. Took him 3 carries to go over 100 yards. He would get a couple of touchdowns, including this one. 151 yards on 9 carries on the day. And here goes Ingram again, Lou, from 17.
So what's this move here? I mean, I don't know if his knee's real good or not. That's incredible.
Could have played last week.
Julio Jones, 100-yard receiving day. Alabama's dropped 62 on Duke, and they're still playing. Florida and Tennessee on Rocky Top. The Vols have been scrappy. Urban Meyer and the Gators turning to a little trickeration. Urban has an uncanny success rate on fake punts. O'Marius Hines here, Lou.
Well, because they're always set up. He wouldn't call it if it wasn't there, and they executed very well. That was critical. That gave him the momentum.
And later in the drive, 3rd and goal, John Brantley, that NFL release to Frankie Hammond Jr. Frankie comes from Hollywood, Florida, and scores a touchdown. And then Mike Gillisley, the 2nd touchdown of the day. The Gators have a 31-17 lead. They're inside 3.5 to go on Rocky Top. This was the game of the day in the SEC. Arkansas and Georgia. A.J. Green, 4-game suspension upheld by the NCAA. No pads for him. Ryan Mallett rolling one way, looking off the Georgia defense, Ronnie Wingo.
Terrific footwork and a great pass by Ryan Mallett. But Wingo, that's not Trey Wingo's brother, is it?
No. Tavares King, watch him fight and scrap. 4th quarter, the Dogs came roaring back. Under 4 minutes to go after they cut it to 1 touchdown with Sean Ely.
Well, this is just a tremendous effort by this young man and the offensive line. Great comeback, tied up, 24-all.
Under 20 seconds to go. You think Arkansas is going to run off the clock? You think Georgia's going to stop him? Childs, please. Greg Childs. Childs, please. Goes in for the touchdown, and Arkansas thinks they have it, but maybe not. The arm strength of the freshman Aaron Murray. Mark, this thing's going to go about 65, 66 on the fly.
As ESPN's own Rodney Gilmore, former defensive back, would say, knock it down, defenders.
Well, they barely did. Great win for Petrino and Mallett. In fact, Mallett said after the game that it was the greatest feeling he had had in football. He threw for 380 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. And Lou, on the game-winning touchdown, how did he get his guy so open, Greg Childs?
Well, what happened, Georgia was in a 2 deep type defense, which means that the cornerback has to drop back and be deep enough so that you can cushion behind the safety. What I'm saying is, one guy's short, the safety man's over top. When this corner comes up, it creates a problem for the safety man. You're going to see it right here on film. Hopefully, we're going to be able to show it. Here you see it. Now, Frieza, see where that cornerback is? You see the receiver behind him. That's too much area for that guy to cover. That cornerback's only 4 yards deep. He's supposed to be 12 yards deep. Consequently, the safety man doesn't have time to come over. It was strictly a breakdown in coverage where the corner, instead of being 12 yards deep, ended up being 4, made it an easy throw.
What I liked about it was the situation that Ryan Mallett was put in. This was a drive that really puts him to the forefront of the Heisman Trophy campaign. If you look at what he was able to do on the road at Georgia, something they hadn't been able to accomplish in a while, win an SEC game on the road, puts up huge numbers, the 380 yards, the 3 touchdowns, but most importantly, gets the win. The last offensive drive of the game for Arkansas takes them down. They score the touchdown, win the game. Huge victory for Arkansas.
And a huge boost as they go back home now to take on Alabama. As good as the Crimson Tide is, young secondary, experienced quarterback, dynamic receivers. That'll be a great showdown in Fayetteville next week. TCU and Baylor. TCU ranked 4th in the country. Gary Patterson's made a habit of dominating teams from the automatic qualifying conferences. Andy Dalton to Jeremy Curley.
Oh, just a tremendous throw. At one time, Dalton was 13 out of 14 completions.
Ed Wesley's going to go 49 here. Mark, this was a game where Robert Griffin, we thought, might give TCU some trouble, and they're not coming close.
Okay, I was the one that said that recently.
No, I'm not calling you out.
But I thought they would.
I thought so, too.
You look at the job that TCU's done on the ground, in the air, and defensively. They did an outstanding job, and just spectacular by the TCU offense. They're in rhythm right now.
Big win for the Mountain West against the Big 12 there, and a big threat from Air Force against Oklahoma. Air Force is the nation's leading rushing team. Tim Jefferson. And get a ball. Oh, you love this, Lou.
I love the option. Notice that cut block there. Great execution.
Air Force ties it at 10. Later in the third, DeMarco Murray's having a sensational year.
Power football right up the middle. Just keep those legs chugging. Those offensive linemen just keep pushing that pile.
Landry Jones can find Murray for 17 yards. That's his 3rd touchdown of the game. OU looked to be in good shape. Up by 17. But in a 10-point game, Kyle Halderman, that quick toss, Sooners don't get there in time. There's 39 seconds to go. Sooners up 3, but Oklahoma has the ball. Looks as if they're going to get out of there. Nebraska and Washington, right now it's a Big 12 Pac-10 thing. It'll soon be one of the Big 10 Pac-10 deals. Jake Locker, he is a fine prospect, great young man, good quarterback, did not have a good day. Picked off by Eric Stagg. Nebraska would score on the ensuing possession. That was Washington's first possession, be pretty much the way the day went. What about Team Magic? Taylor Martinez again?
It seems like every week they're showing the same play from the preceding week. Here he goes, another 80 yards, once again off of a fake handoff. He does it too many times for that to be luck.
14-point game. Roy, hello. Junior, hello. Goodbye.
Fabulous blocking, though. You see these long runs. The quarterback, the running back, they don't get touched through the hole, through the line of scrimmage. Excellent blocking at the point of attack by the Cornhuskers offensive line.
Huskers win easily. 3 guys over 100 yards. Those 2 guys you saw in Rex Burkhead, too. Kyle Parker, he can hit home runs. He can throw touchdowns. But can he do it in Jordan-Hare Stadium? You'll find out in less than 10 minutes. Clemson and Auburn coming up.
College Football Scoreboard is presented by Acura. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
The purpose of owning a ball club is to win ball games.
What if I told you winning is the family business? The House of Steinbrenner, Tuesday at 8, part of ESPN Films 30 for 30.
With a new Build Your Own Omelet from Denny's, you can make your own omelet any way you like spinach, tomatoes, and pepper jack cheese, or Swiss cheese, ham, and jalapeno peppers, or bacon, avocado, cheddar cheese, pico de gallo, prime rib, fire roasted peppers and onions, chorizo, American cheese, sausage.
Meet me by the sea again, past the point the shoreline bends, where the sand is soft and warm and hangs upon your golden arm, and someone moving
Someone reminded me I once said greed is good. Now it seems it's legal.
What's your number? The amount of money you would need to just walk away from it.
More.
No matter how much money you make, you'll never be rich.
It's not about the money. It's about the game.
I'm gonna destroy Gecko.
Bulls make money. Bears make money. Pigs. They get slaughtered.
Wall Street. Money never sleeps. Rated PG-13.
This here New Orleans. Anything goes. As long as you don't disrespect the Saints. My neighbor got NFL Sunday ticket. Now he watches them Falcon games every Sunday. Downright disgraceful. But a dirty bird can't fly with a broken wing.
Watch your favorite team wherever you live. Upgrade to NFL Sunday Ticket today.
College Football Scoreboard is presented by Acura. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
Been looking for a nickname for Cam Newton. Someone suggested Newton's second law. Force equals mass times acceleration. Plenty of it from the Auburn quarterback. Mark still likes Newton bomb. Real quickly, who's going to win it, Lou?
Well, I think at Auburn, well, you go with the best team who's playing at home from the best conference. That's Auburn.
I agree with him. Cameron Newton will have a big game, throwing and running.
If you haven't seen Cam Newton yet, take a look. Auburn and Clemson coming now.
You are looking live at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama for the Clash of the Tigers. Tonight, Auburn Tigers attempt to reassert their dominance in an old non-conference rivalry against the Clemson Tigers. 87,000 on hand. Welcome everybody with Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brent Musburger. Great duel of two quarterbacks. Number 11 for Clemson, Kyle Parker. Last time here in Auburn, right across the street. Slamming home runs for the Clemson baseball team. What a story. Now he's the quarterback.
Yeah, he is a great quarterback. He played last year as a freshman. I think he's anxious to show that he's more than a novelty and a great story. I think he wants to show that he can play this position. He has a quick release. He's a great athlete, has some great talent around him. This is Clemson's first test, and number 11 is going to have to come through for the Clemson Tigers.
Herbie, if folks like their quarterbacks big, have we got one for you. Cam Newton, 6'6", and he's a dandy.
Oh, he is big. He's athletic. He's actually second in the SEC in rushing, and we've seen his athletic ability. No, he's a backup to Tim Tebow 2 years ago at Florida. Was a junior college route last year. Now he's taken over at Auburn. You know, the thing that I love about him is he's athletic, but he can throw the football. And tonight against this Clemson defense, I think they're going to be determined to take away his ability to run. And I want to see if he can throw the ball against Clemson. He'll have to win.
Herbie, Auburn has a new starting running back, the talented freshman.
Man, the true freshman, Michael Dyer, the #1 prospect in the country last year, landed at Auburn, and they gave a little bit of a taste of him last week at Starkville against Mississippi State. Tonight, he's going to get the start, and they want to feed it to him, see what he can do.
And everybody's chanting, hold that Tiger. Only one of these Tiger teams can be successful.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Bank of America, Kingsford Charcoal and the Home Depot. Get your tailgate started right with Kingsford Charcoal from the Home Depot. And Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
Credit card rewards are always good in theory.
Sometimes I would get rewards, sometimes I wouldn't.
This one card I had, there were all these rules and restrictions.
And limits.
Forget about it.
But I love this card.
Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Credit Card.
1% cash back on everything I buy, period.
No limit to the amount of cash back I can get.
No hoops to jump through.
Simple.
The refreshingly simple Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Credit Card. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
At Pizza Hut, everyone loved our $10 any pizza deal, so we've made even bigger changes. We've lowered the price of every pizza on our menu. Now, a large pizza with up to 3 of your favorite toppings is just $10, or any medium specialty pizza is just $10 too. Only at your Pizza Hut.
college football prime time, presented by Hampton Hotels. Well, Auburn has beaten Clemson 13 straight times, and the visitors are determined to end that streak here tonight. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. The Clemson Tigers file out of the locker room. A lot of their fans have followed them here. Not too long a drive. Across Georgia, the northwest corner of South Carolina. Dabo Swinney's team ready to bring it on. Meanwhile, the home team. Here come the Auburn Tigers. Well, you take a look at the history of these two schools, and Auburn with a wide margin with 13 straight triumphs. Got to go back to the 50s to the last Clemson victory. The last meeting was in the 2007 Chick-fil-A Bowl down the road in Atlanta. Coach Gene Chizik of Auburn is standing by with our Aaron Andrews. Let's go to Aaron.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, you mentioned your backs need to take the pressure off your quarterback, Cam Newton. How will that affect the game plan for freshman back Michael Dyer tonight?
Well, the bottom line is right now, if you're in a game like this, you got to produce. Whether it's Michael, whether it's any of our tailbacks, we've got to get a running game going tonight, and it can't be with the quarterback. It's got to be with our tailback.
Speaking of quarterback, we'll talk about Clemson's. You are concerned about Kyle Parker's ability to throw the deep ball. What's the key to countering that tonight?
Well, the bottom line is we got to stop their running game. We got to make sure that their quarterback doesn't hit the big ball down the field on us. We just got to play sound defense, go out there and have fun.
Thanks. All right, Brent.
And Aaron, just as you say that, Kyle Parker and Clemson will have the ball first here tonight in Auburn. Dabo Swinney spent a long time over in Tuscaloosa as a player and an assistant coach. Muggy night here in Auburn. Still 89 degrees. And the humidity, though, dropping, so by the time night falls here, it's going to be real pleasant for one of these Southern Fried football games. Welcome to the part of the country where football is a religion, ladies and gentlemen. He's ready. Marcus Gilchrist, the defensive back. Unusual when you come to Clemson and not see the great C.J. Spiller back there, but he's moved on to Sunday football. And there is the Eagle. Nova came out at the 17-minute mark as we wound the clock down. Wes Byram, record-setting kicker here at Auburn. And Nova said, let's go, boys. Let's bring it on. Gilchrist will return this one from the 10, looking for field position. And he is out to the 24-yard line, and some serious helmet knocking goes on early. Now Kyle Parker comes out. We told you about the last time he was here, folks. First inning, it was only 3 months ago. He was a starting right fielder. Came to the plate with two teammates on and slammed this home run as Clemson won it 13-7 and eventually traveled to Omaha and the College World Series. And now here tonight, number 11 brings his offense to the line of scrimmage, and Andre Ellington, number 23, will open as his running back. Ellington Let's go back to Kyle Parker, Herbie, because 20 home runs, 20 touchdown passes a year ago. First player in Division I history to do that.
And think about some of the great dual sport players that we've seen over the years. Kyle Parker's a gamer, just to put it very candidly. He has the ability to make plays. In this kind of environment, he'll settle in and really feel comfortable. It's really a question of the guys around him help him out.
Yeah, I mentioned to you one Bo Jackson from Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
Second down and 9 from the gun. And with that draw look, close to the first down comes Ellington. We'll see where they mark it.
It's a good look here at what Clemson, the strength of their team, besides Kyle Parker, is a veteran offensive line with great continuity. And Brent, you know what it's like when you're on the road in this kind of environment. You can't always hear yourself communicating up front. And this is a good, safe play with a draw to a fast back to get the push up front, and eventually he finds the crease.
And it's good for a first down as the chains move. Empty backfield. This is a veteran offensive line. And now Auburn shows pressure. And Ellington goes back for the toss. Tries to get the short side. And does. Tightrope walks down the sideline. Landon Walker was the tackle out in front of him. And there's a penalty flag down.
There's a flag on the play.
I'd be questioning how many people they had lined up in the backfield.
This is an ACC crew with an SEC replay booth. Dabo looking now for clarification.
Trying to read lips from up here, obviously saying there's no foul.
Yeah, his microphone not working right now. So they move those chains, Herbie, to the, the 46-yard line?
Yes, sir. And you see that without C.J. Spiller and Jacoby Ford, there's still a tremendous amount of speed on this Clemson offense.
Jamie Harper checks in. Gets the first carry. He's more of a power back, but he does have breakout speed. How about some impact players tonight that we're going to be watching?
Well, I think it has to start in the backfield around Kyle Parker, and you got to look at Andre Ellington because of the speed, and you saw it on that end around, what he can do. He's a fast-cut guy, and he and Jamie Harper will provide the speed in the backfield. And also, they're going to look outside. Jerron Brown and Bryce McNeil, the number 18 and number 7, are the go-to receivers when they want to get the football thrown vertically down the field.
They'll try to do that just now if they can. Needs 13, drops off the screen pass in underneath. Remember, Harper's got breakout speed, and he picks up the first down. Good call that time.
Absolutely, Brent, because Auburn was playing a lot of man-to-man coverage here, and the linebacker who actually is trying to lock up with Jamie Harper gets lost, and that's Craig Stevens, the linebacker who's been suspended, 46, who's come back for this game. He gets caught up in all the offensive linemen, and he can't get out there, so there's nobody left to pick up Harper, who has an alley down the sideline.
On first down, handed back to Harper and cannot find a hole as Nick Fairley, and he's one of the impact players here for this defense.
Yes, sir. Nick Fairley is a guy who had a big game last week against Mississippi State and really represents, I think, a big key in this game because the defensive line from Auburn has to make a difference in trying to get pressure and getting penetration. And then Craig Stevens, who got a little bit lost in that screen, 46, he's back as a senior. He's a co-defensive MVP last year. He's missed the first 2 games. Let's see how quick he can get back to the game tempo, the speed of the game.
Ellington checks back in as the Clemson running back. Gets the call, slips the first wave, and he is short of the first down.
Love to see these Clemson backs. When you can make a cut and not lose your acceleration in the middle of that cut, that's when you know you have some great speed in the backfield. And I think these two really complement each other very well. Ellington about 190 pounds and Jamie Harper in at about 235.
As a high school senior, Herbie, Ellington had 2,500 all-purpose yards and scored 28 touchdowns. Here he is on 3rd and 2, trying to get it, and he does. Picks up the first down as he barges across the 30-yard line. So it used to be thunder and lightning, as Todd Blackledge named those former great running backs, and now it's the new storm. Andre Ellington and Jamie Harper.
Talked about that battle at the beginning of this drive up front with the veteran offensive line from Clemson, the speed and athletic ability from Auburn, and so far in this drive, you got to give Clemson a lot of credit for controlling things up front.
They have come right down the field on this Auburn defense. Out of the power I, Ellington seizes the corner, crosses the 20, banged out of bounds around the 11-yard line by Savage, the safety. And this is an impressive opening drive, 19 more yards.
And Brett, watch from the outside. The Auburn defense is slanting to the left, and I think they underestimate the speed. And Damon Washington, the corner, came in. And again, I think he was surprised to see the cutback because the play that was designed to the left, and Ellington brought it all the way back to the right. And that time, Washington, the corner, was out of position to make the play.
Harper checks back in. His number. And he is more the power back. And he crosses the 5-yard line, and he showed you his strength right there as Sweeney's offense is moving down the field in large chunks here.
Well, that offensive line is moving people off the line of scrimmage.
Do you remember this offensive line one night in Atlanta when they were freshmen against Alabama?
Yep.
And they couldn't hold up?
Yep.
Well, here they are now, upperclassmen.
Grown up.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Mix up in the backfield, and Harper can't get loose. The man who was coming around that time, Terrence Ash, collided with the exchange.
And Brent, Nick Fairley, who you and I talked about earlier, is an impact player. Watch him get a push this time. See him right there? Disrupts the entire flow of that play. Fought through that time David Smith, the left guard, and used his power that time to just show what he can do. That's what Auburn needs to do to be able to slow down this Clemson attack.
3rd and 7. Rolls to the 3. It's that inside shovel pass. Harper breaks for the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson. Catanzaro on for the extra point. Quarterback Michael Wade will put it down for him. He's a big rascal, this Holt. Taps it on. Herbie. They go 76 yards in 12 plays. They eat up just over 6 minutes. Harper finishes it. Now it is Cam Newton's turn.
This rock has never stood still. Since our beginning, we've been there for clients through good times and bad. When our clients' needs changed, we changed to meet them. Through the years when some lost their way, we led the way with new ideas for the financial challenges we knew would lie ahead. This rock has never stood still. And there's one thing that will never change. We are the rock you can rely on. Prudential.
I changed my mind. I wanted to look more sophisticated.
More modern.
I really wanted the blue ones.
The LensCrafters 90-day unconditional guarantee. If you don't love your glasses, we'll replace them or refund your money. Another reason eyes love LensCrafters. Come in for 30% off a complete pair of eyewear.
Recently, our remote island of Tangier, an island with just 507 residents, 1 school, and no cars, received its first taste of the internet.
ESPN has introduced our secluded time to thousands of live games in HD quality through ESPN3.com.
The results were exactly as you'd expect.
On game day, we make Buckeye brownies. Michigan fans don't like it.
Here's a classic leg spin delivery. It's a good way it is.
It's running the Wildcat.
Come look at this blue field. It's snazzy.
There's no court on the island, but we make do.
Roll time.
Hook 'em horns.
This telecast is available in 3D, presented by Sony.
A wonderful drive.
Yeah, and Brent, the coaches told us this week that Harper may have the best hands on the team, but look at this, his instincts right here. The cutback against Craig Stevens, their top tackler from a year ago, and this is it, the soft hands, 235 pounds, plays designed to the left, and there's nothing there, cuts it back, and then has the speed to get to the corner.
So now we'll see what Auburn can come up with. Spencer Benton will kick it off. Damon Washington back deep. McCaleb is just in front of him. From right at the 4-yard line, Washington coming out. Excellent return to the 32, and Benton the kicker. And here comes 6 foot, 6 inch Cam Newton.
Big Cam Newton has tremendous athletic ability. So far these first couple games, he has shown his ability to run the football. He's second in the SEC in rushing. I got to believe that Clemson's going to do everything they can tonight to try to squeeze this Auburn offense and try to take away Newton's ability to run and force him to throw the football tonight and see if he can make some plays downfield with his receivers.
There he is in the pistol formation, and that is the freshman, number 5. Keep an eye on him. Dyer, recruited out of the state of Arkansas, and the line judge wants to have a word here with the referee. They're looking at the clock. Want to straighten it up, so they'll come over and get this.
Well, the play clock didn't really get started.
So he's got an official timeout, and now he will get it straight. To go back on Newton, okay, he started his collegiate career at Florida. There was a problem, and originally he was charged with stealing a laptop computer. However, that charge was dropped, and Newton himself chose to leave Florida after that. Obviously, he was behind Tim Tebow, and he wasn't going to play much. And he wandered all the way to a JC, Blinn, Texas college, where he played for Dennis Franchione's son, Brad. And then he led Blinn to the Junior College National Championship. And originally he said he was interested in Mississippi State, but Auburn did not give up. They kept coming and said he could step right in, probably as a starter. And so here is the young man who has a second chance. And from all indications, from everyone we talked to, he's making the most of it.
I had a chance to watch film with him yesterday. Just a likable guy the minute you walk into a room with him.
Stands tall. This is what he can do when it breaks down. And there is something they've been working on, Herbie, is having him dive so he doesn't take a big hit.
Yeah, because he's taken a lot of hits in just a couple weeks. And, of course, last week in conference play against Mississippi State on the road, he's not yet learned to get down, and he's fighting for extra yards, which you like to see. You like to see, but sometimes you got to know when to get down.
Second down and 7, and again I think we've got a clock problem here, and you know that has to be very disconcerting to a team that wants an up-tempo offense. As you know, Gus Malzahn, the offensive coordinator for Chiswick, he wants to go in a hurry. He wants to move it up, get the tempo up, and you would think that maybe Clemson snuck somebody up to that clock, and so we
yeah I mean, that's one way to slow down Gus Malzahn's offense.
Exactly.
He's over there he's got his leg twitching. I mean, he wants to get this offense going.
Well, there we go. The game clock is going to be kept on the field.
That first play, Newton scrambling. DeAndre McDaniel, who's an All-American safety on the other side, number 2 as well for Clemson. I think one of the things that Clemson might want to do is try to cheat him up close to the line of scrimmage, almost spying him on certain down and distances to try to prevent him from making those big plays and running the football.
You know, his father had such a great comment about him going from Gainesville out to the middle of Texas. He said that my son went from the Hollywood of East Coast football to the middle of a cow pasture. And he did real well in that cow pasture. He accounted for 38 touchdowns for Blinn, and Dabo Swinney and Clemson with that 7-point lead right now.
Dabo's got to be happy with the way that opening drive went, not just to score, but also to help take this crowd out of the game.
The freshman from Little Rock hurdles the first defender and slams straight ahead. Now, Lattimore and the young man you're looking at right here, they were the top 2 running backs in the nation in high school, depending, Herbie, on which rating service you read.
Right, and Dyer's 5'9", about 215 pounds, rock solid. Looking at him down on the field before the game, he just looks like a guy who has a low center of gravity. Going to be very tough for this Clemson defense to arm tackle him.
Up alongside, gets the handoff from Newton. Breaks the first wave, but not the second. And storming in on him, there's a young man who was highly rated, too. You talked about him, Bowers.
Daquan Bowers doing a good job right there. He's able to fight right through, disrupt the play, and then look at the jerseys, the white jerseys swarming. They knew that Newton and Dyer in this Auburn running game, they had to negate, slow it down, force Newton to pass, and that's exactly what Kevin Steele's defense was able to do right there.
Gilchrist and McDaniel go back for this punt. So our first punt. And it is boom. Gilchrist spun down at the 20-yard line. And Ryan Shoemaker with a great punt. So we'll see if the Auburn defense has adjusted after that 51-yard punt.
Free hot breakfast, now with fresh waffles. Real value from your friends at Hampton.
It's time for the Bud Light Playbook. Today, how to make the ultimate tailgate car.
Hey, man, come on. You run out of gas?
Actually, there is no gas tank. Behold, the ultimate tailgate car. I replaced the gas tank with a keg of Bud Light. Here we go. The heater doubles as a popcorn popper. And since we don't have gas, we don't need an engine. Your grill is a grill.
There's no junk in that trunk. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets, all white meat seasoned with peppers and savory spices.
So cool. I mean hot.
Wendy's classic frosty, made with rich cream and 100% real cocoa.
So hot. I mean cool.
Each only 99 cents for a short time.
So nice.
Someone reminded me I once said greed is good. Now it seems it's legal.
What's your number? The amount of money you would need to just walk away from it.
More.
No matter how much money you make, you'll never be rich.
It's not about the money. It's about the game.
I'm gonna destroy Gecko.
Bulls make money. Bears make money. Pigs. They get slaughtered.
Wall Street. Money never sleeps. Rated PG-13.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
So we are back in Auburn, Alabama. And Clemson with the football and the lead. Toomer's Corner, of course, has been an Auburn tradition since 1896. And if Auburn can come back and win this, they'll be celebrating big time over there. Ellington Ian Harper, and the ball on the ground. Nope, it's the running back. He's got complete control. I thought for a moment watching how the defense